So instinctive and so passionate. Every word I'm moving so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who badly being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, getting stuck, speaking fast. I'm all fair last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You can do it sometimes, you're delirious, mysterious, because you are not an exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last. Believe in what you got, it was built to last. Stepping in and competent, mental health is confidence. I'm here to say the things that's for you to take away. I can play a million mind games, but it's this. Stepping in is competent, burden on it, let you go. Make yourself unstoppable, you're indispensable. But they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, velocity they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my bed. So I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off, and knowing I gotta make it. I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient with my mind, if you know they take it. I'm chasing, achieving it. I never separate. I'm thinking, wanna keep don't gonna take it.
Okay, cool. Hey, everybody. This is Kathy. Welcome back. Give me a second because 9:30 came fast. All right, so welcome, everybody. I'm just kind of bellying up to the desk here, so let's see what we have. Good to see everybody tonight. Let me get into my chat. Anyway, I just noticed something. That I never saw before. I need to get into the chat and say hi to everybody. Give me just a second. Give me just a second, guys. All right. Sorry about that. I had to do something at the last second. And that is hold on a second. What in the heck? Hold on a second. Okay, guys. All right, I'm trying to get my comments up and they're not coming up. Give me just a second, you guys. You know what I just saw? I just saw Sarah Little she's got her own YouTube channel. I did not know that. Did you guys know that Sarah Little has her own YouTube channel? This is crazy. If you heard me laughing, that's why I couldn't believe it. Guess what it's called? It's called Mom Talk. Oh man, good for her. Oops, stop, don't talk. Yeah, it's called Mom Talk. Oh my goodness. Look, I'm gonna show you guys. She's got 91 views. And looks like she either went live. Oh, yeah, she went live 4 hours ago. How come nobody told me? Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys. Hold on a second. You guys, at the last second, I realized my water to ice ratio was way off and it wasn't going to cut it. So I tried getting some ice, right, out of the freezer. And the bag had kind of melted on the way home. So it was one big block and I had to hit it with a hammer. Oh, life's so hard. All right, I'm going to show you guys. Sarah's channel. Caleb, what do you want? My dog's driving me nuts. What do you want? Hold on. I might have to let these guys up. Yeah, Mont. This is hilarious. Hold on a second. I'm going to show you real quick, but I got to let these guys out. They just got done eating, so I don't know. They're trying to tell me something. Maybe they want a raise or something. What in the heck? Okay, I'm going to promote her channel. Hold on a second. All right, I'm going to show it to you guys while I let my dog out, okay? Because they're going to get really crazy and noisy, so ignore that. All right, when I let them out, they get all crazy. So here, I'm going to just show you this. Her channel, and I'm going to give you the link in the description box. Hold on a second, let me let them out. Oh my gosh, isn't that hilarious? Look. Sarah Little. Oh, it's called, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought her name of her channel was Mom Talk. It should be. She should name her channel Mom Talk. You got Dad Talk, you got Mom Talk, you got Bad Talk. Bad Talk, him and Sarah. So anyway, yeah, so let's promote Sarah's channel. I'm going to, first of all, I will subscribe. Hit that subscribe and like. And that is interesting. It says it was 4 hours ago, I guess. I didn't even know she had a YouTube channel. So it says 91 views 4 hours ago. Watching Dad Talk's latest video and refuting his false allegations of me. This isn't for me as far as disputing any more of his claims. He also claims that he's done with this topic, and I truly hope this is the first and last video I have to create about this. Besides the recent live stream I was invited onto. I do plan to make a part 2 on the receipts of everything I shared on that live. Thank you to anyone who's sincere and takes time to listen and hear my side. You can change the speed with the tool feature if I talk too slow for you. Yeah, I sometimes talk slow too. I suggest the same on my videos. Just hit the speeder upper thing. Edit. I get a little annoyed and extremely frustrated in this, which I'm editing out 3-minute clip currently. But it says 70 minutes to update. Sorry in advance. Yeah, that happens. I don't have time to proof this before publishing, so I'm listening as I go. All right. All right, so there's that. Yeah, so I'll have to listen to that maybe tomorrow. Yeah, I'll have to listen to that tomorrow because I won't have time tonight. But anyway, did I give her a thumbs up? Wait a second. Yeah, I did. Thumbs up, subscribe, and like. All right. So yeah, we're gonna talk a couple things about the Whittakers tonight, and discuss these photos again. And I'm not gonna dwell into the photos again, but you know, I'm gonna just touch on that. So, oh, thank you, Grace. Just put up the link. Thank you, Grace. She just put up the link to Sarah's channel. If you want to click on that and subscribe, we're here for you, Sarah. Always Face says hashtag Team Sarah. Sarah, we're here in support for you. You got a lot of support. Don't let a few trolls get you down, okay? Every channel has trolls. So don't worry about them. Just delete them, block them, and laugh and go on with your day. Because, yeah, nobody needs that. So I'm going to start up at the top. I should probably put the live chat on so I can see all the comments. Yeah, it was a hot one today. Dang, really hot. Good evening to Alicia. Oops. And by the way, I hope everybody had a nice 4th of July. Happy 250th birthday of the United States. And happy 4th of July. I hope everybody had a safe, happy holiday. Yeah, we had like a storm, but wasn't bad here. But my friend who lives like 5 miles away, they got like almost a tornado. It was like straight line winds. Took a whole bunch of trees down right in a row, like a tornado would, and their power went out. I don't know, multiple times. But over here, it wasn't so bad. I didn't really. Nothing really happened. I have a backup generator if I need power, so if it goes out for too long, I can fire up a generator. Yeah, so good evening to Daphne. Good to see you tonight. Kathleen, welcome. Mary, good to see you tonight. Hello to you too. Let's see. Kathleen, Florida Life in the Sun. Good to see you tonight. Welcome. Dear Jane. Oh, good to see you. Hi, commentary. Oh, commentary, Kathy. I like that. I like it. Calendar commentary, Kathy. I like that. Good to see you tonight, Jane. And by the way, thank you, Jane, for coming on as a guest. I think it was last night. Man, the days are going fast. I think it was last night. And so thank you, Jane, for coming on. If you haven't seen it. Now, I probably should have waited another half an hour because Patrick was on, and a lot of you guys were over at Patrick's. So if you missed it, it is on my live stream thing. But boy, she's got a lot of interesting information and stories and stuff. And so she's agreed to come back again, maybe later at the end of the week. And so if you guys have more questions for her, and I would like to, I'm always interested in that celebrity stuff. You know what I mean? That believe me, the more pictures are, wow. The picture she sent me, you guys, uncensored. Okay, let's just put it that way. Stuff I've never seen before, and she knows, Scott, who I'm a super fan of, and of his work with Dearly Departed Tours. Am I missing anybody? Not My Monkeys. Good to see you tonight. Hey, everybody. How are you? Good to see you tonight. Not My Monkeys. I hope you're doing well. Grace says, greetings, salutations, Mama Cat, and everyone. Alicia, Daphne, everybody. Good to see everybody tonight. I hope you're staying cool. If it's this hot in Minnesota, I don't know how hot it is down by you guys. Because it is hot. I don't know. And I think, I didn't even look. I think it's going to continue. It does cool off nice at the nighttime, though. Nice to bring that cool air, blow it in with the fan, you know. Mary, good to see Mary tonight. Did I say hi to Mary? And yeah, so Grace dropped the link and for Sarah's. How perfect. Didn't not know either. Come on. Yeah, let's give Sarah some love. Yep. Sub to her and yeah, watch her stuff and yeah, spread the word. You can always share somebody's channel too. Um and by the way, I get notified. We get notified if you guys share our videos. So it will say, I get notifications say Grace just shared your video or whatever. Yeah. Sarah claps back. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, she did. She should. That's right. Just sub. There you go. Always Faith. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for subbing to Sarah. Yes, hashtag Team Sarah. That's right. Betty says hi to friends. Good to see you tonight, friend. Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys saw it. I didn't. It just was over in the margin over there with some other videos. I'm like, wait, what? I thought her channel said Mom Talk. She should have it say Mom Talk. Oh, that would burn his his hide. You already subscribed to it. Did you really? Did you see it? Did it come up in your suggestions? That's what happened. How I saw it. You just subscribed. Thank you, Alicia. We're getting our normal afternoon thunderstorms here. Yeah, I noticed that when I was in Florida. I noticed that it would like rain several times a day and then clear up and just make it more humid and then rain some more and then clear up. Yeah, it did rain a lot. I was down there in June back in the 90s and I was in Clearwater or Crestview when I was up there by Fort Walton Beach. Let's see. Those straight line winds can be nearly bad as tornado. Yeah, it looked like a tornado went through. Hey, Catwoman, good to see you tonight. No, you're not late. We've just kind of started. Yeah, good evening, Catwoman. Hope you had a great day. Hope everyone had a wonderful Monday. You did. Thank you, Daphne. Daphne subbed. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, check out that interview that I did with Dear Jane. She's got a lot of really cool stuff. There's the link. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about a few things. I just want to make sure I get everybody. Did I miss anybody? Did I forget to say hi to anybody? It was just so interesting. Sorry if I made a monopoly. No, your questions were awesome. Listen, not my monkey. She wanted questions. You know, that's what we were asking in the chat. So yeah, you had some great questions, really good questions. And that's what I love, because there's some things I don't think about. I did asked if it had a bad smell, and she said yes. She can sometimes smell from the parking lot, which you can imagine. Because, I mean, you get a dead mouse in your house, and it's just like, I got to evacuate, you know what I mean? And find the source, you know what I mean? So I can imagine, you guys, the pictures. Picture, like she said, the size of a Costco. Okay, or Walmart. Okay, everybody knows as big as Walmart. So imagine like a Walmart or bigger, and all the shelves are filled with, yeah, people wrapped in sheets, or partial people wrapped in sheets, pillowcases. I'm not sure. It looked like sheets that were tied. Yeah, we're all waiting for part 2, dear Jane. Loved hearing your commentary. I know you have more to share. Yes. And I gotta pull up the pictures. You guys, I might be gone tomorrow. I'm not sure yet, but tomorrow or the next couple days, I'm gonna try going on my laptop because I can show the pictures way better. And yeah, like I said, some might be too graphic to show, but some aren't. I was over in your comments on your short notification for this live posting when you're not watching. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. We really haven't gotten into anything yet. We're just kind of still saying hi. Wait, what? Why is this? Okay. Never mind. I thought my phone was dying. It's my other phone that's dying. um. So let me see. This one is at 77%, so we should be okay. Let's see. Do we all have a topic, or can we talk about garden? You can talk about anything you want here, Runaway Truth. Yeah, I was showing my garden. It's coming along really good. There is no the rain. It just oh my gosh, the rain makes everything go so fast. Okay, they want to come in. Just give me a second. Go. Go. All right. So, yeah. Um, yeah. You're always welcome to bring anything to the table. Yep. Yep. Yes. Dear Jane said she had great questions. Yes. And I'm sure you guys, some of you guys, like I said, it was at the same time as Patrick's. And so some of you guys were over there. But when she comes on next time, we'll make sure Patrick's somebody that's not in the Whittakers like Patrick or Toddy or somebody, make sure that they're not, make sure that they're not, conflicting with my stream. So I'll make sure next time. My shed is going to be smelling pretty, oh, really? Right, for a couple of days. Groundhog and husband, Elmer Fudd, had a cat and mouse game going on. There's a blood trail, but no. Yep. He went back to the bunker, huh? Yeah. Wounded. It's gorgeous and looks so productive. I'm so inspired and want to know more. I could do a whole garden. Yeah, I could do a whole garden video. Yeah, I could do a whole garden video. I love to talk about because I want to inspire people. Even if you live in a rental place or an apartment with a patio, you can grow things out like 5-gallon buckets or large planters. You could grow tomatoes, cucumbers, without digging into the ground or anything like that. So even people that rent can have, a lot of, I'm not saying you rent. I'm saying that for other people. Like even if you have an apartment with a balcony, you can put stuff out on the balcony, you know what I mean? So not everybody has to have a whole bunch of land to have a garden. It really doesn't take much. You could do this in planters if you needed to. Some plants do better in planters than others, I'll tell you that. Because by the end of the season, the dirt inside that planter is kind of depleted, of nutrients and stuff. So that if you put it in big planters and stuff, you gotta use like Miracle Grow or some kind of supplement. But yes, I want people to be inspired and grow your own stuff. It's fun. And up until, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, the only thing I used to grow was tomatoes at my other house. And I worked all the time and never had time to really stop and do anything. So now I'm learning as I go. Every year I learn new stuff, Specifically fruit trees, if they all grafted, are they any heritage and can be grown from seed and stay true to type? I don't know. I've always bought mine as, probably like 5 foot tall plants. The trees I get are the size of that one. I've never grown a tree from a seed, but I'm going to tell you, on my plum tree, it constantly drops little plum seeds, and there's I don't know, hundreds of little plum plants growing on the ground that could be trees. I thought about digging them up and growing them into trees, but yeah, that plum tree is dropping lots of little trees. I just keep cutting them with the grass, but yeah, I should. Yes, please, gardening. Yeah. Yeah, and I've learned a lot of my stuff off of YouTube. We had tomatoes just on the verge of ripening red. I'm so excited. Yeah, oh, I love that first tomato. I hear you. Mine are real small and green yet, but yeah, I'm waiting for my first tomato too. Yep, there's so much you can do with it. Oh, Whittaker isn't titled during my bed. No, that's okay. You can talk about anything you want. Like I think on my thing I said on my preview, I said it was going to be an open chat. So we're going to talk about anything. Well, here it says discussing Whittaker content and more. So this is more. So we talk about anything. So yeah, I saw Toddy's video. Toddy did a video with Phil, her good friend of many years, and they talked about those pictures and that were shared that should not have been shared. Now, yeah, I know of one person on YouTube who shared them, and now I saw comments that they're all over Facebook. Those pictures now, so I guess those pictures, once one person leaked them, they're out now. They're all over Facebook, and not good. But on Toddy's stream, she said that she told Phil that a certain content creator was having a live stream, and somebody claimed that they had pictures of Timmy nude, which he was in that swimming pool in the locker room, right? The content creator wanted them to be sent to him, and I thought that was really disturbing that somebody would request pictures of Timmy naked. So that is really creepy and weird. But if you didn't see it, I watched it a little bit ago when I was getting ready, when I was doing my stuff outside. So anyway, check that out. She's got a chat with Phil there about those pictures. I keep a salt shaker in the garage for my summer breakfast walk. Oh, do you eat it like an apple? Yeah, I don't do that. I know a lot of people who put salt on it and just eat it like an apple. I don't do that, but I love them. Love them on tacos, BLTs, hamburgers, sandwiches, salads. Yeah. Oh, and I always do massive canning at the end of the year. I make gigantic pots of spaghetti, like 5 gallons at a time, and freeze it and everything, or can it. Yeah. Yeah. Always download chat. Yep, I always do. That's right. We used to always chat for 1 hour before we got into the Bible study. There we go, a couple more hours. It is beyond disturbing. Like, why would somebody want those pictures of Timmy naked? That was really disturbing. And he says you gals are obsessed. Yeah, yeah. Have you ever heard me talking about anybody's pee-pee? Nope. I've been accused of it by another content creator who insisted on every single video that I'm obsessed with somebody's pee-pee, and that me and Toddy talk about somebody's pee-pee, and that we want her to talk about somebody's pee-pee with them. But she said no. So yeah. So who is obsessed with this stuff? I listen. I don't want pictures of Timmy even with his clothes on. Okay, he's in state's custody. He's a vulnerable adult. They've already clarified that. Okay, nobody doesn't know that they are vulnerable and they're basically a protective custody. I mean, state's custody, supposed to be shielded from the public. And in the chat, and I think it was Patrick's chat, somebody said that they had that pool time to themselves, that it was supposed to just be the Whittakers. Isn't that what they said? Somebody said in the chat that they had it reserved for a time or something. So yeah, nobody should have been that. They seem to be very prolific. Yes. Are the plums? I don't know what kind of plums they are, because I totally forgot. Sometimes I can do the Google reverse image and figure out what plants they are. I realize that my raspberries are black raspberries, with the because it keeps coming up on my wild raspberries. I got acres of them, and they're black raspberries. Oh, they're so good. Oh, and by the way, my raspberries are coming in, so I'm going to start. If it's not too dang hot in the next few days, I'm going to start raspberry picking for my jam. I can and rehydrate too. I want to freeze dry, but have limited power here. Yeah. Yeah, the freeze drying is interesting. I think they're kind of expensive though. Those. Yeah. Bunch of weirdos, right? Right, yeah. Yeah, I'm not the one who talks about my crotch every day. Yep, that's my big canning is tomatoes. Stop it. I have a range in my garage for canning. I do 50 quarts every year. Wow. Is that so the house doesn't get really hot? Yeah. 50 quarts. That's a lot, not my monkeys. I do probably a few dozen, 12, 24. I do about 30 maybe. Well, I do tomato sauce, I do spaghetti sauce, I do chili. I make homemade chili because I got all this stuff to make chili in my garden too. Yeah, so maybe it is about 50 when I get done. Gaslighters can only gaslight. That's right. Hey, Miss January, good to see you tonight. Welcome. Hope you had a wonderful day. Yeah, I saw that. Should be pretty easy to figure out who took the photos, and I heard it was a security guard. And he's been no, that's a mixed up story. The security guard that got fired was the one that took the picture of Timmy in the lobby when they first were, I almost said abducted, extracted. When the Whittakers were first extracted, were brought to the hospital. Then from there they were brought to a hotel, and that's where they got Timmy, in the hotel. And that security guard, it was right off of the security guard screen, right? So he got fired. But that was in September. But now it was in January. Those pictures were taken in January. And so, no, it's not another security guard. It's somebody definitely who works there. My guess it's Elizabeth. Just a guess, my opinion. I'm guessing it's Elizabeth because she was up to her eyes in that stuff. Remember, she had the inside, and her friends worked there, and she used to work there, and her friends still work there. 2,500 for mediums. Yeah, I know. Dehydrators are really expensive. I did look into them. I don't have that kind of money. I got $2,500 for a dehydrator. I have a ceramic top in the house, but don't want to use it for can. Yeah, that's that's a lot of work, and it's very hot. I know, all that steam and stuff. Then you got to put everything out on. I always put down a couple towels and put my cans on the towels when they come out. It's nice to make the mess outside in the garage. Yeah, that is a good idea. Boots on the ground. Hey, Susan said so much. Good to see you tonight. Welcome. Hope you had a wonderful day. Hey, Susan, you should come up as a guest again sometime. That was fun. If you ever feel like coming back, I'll drop the link. Boots on the ground. AD said people blaming Elizabeth, and he said he didn't care if she was blamed. He didn't care if she was blamed. Well, I do think it's her, because who else wasn't? Who else has a connection to where they're at and AD? Who's got the connection? Elizabeth. I think it's blatantly obvious. I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense. So, and he doesn't care if she gets blamed? Well, obviously, because it's why he posted them. Yeah. Sure, maybe once I go back home. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I know that you're out of town visiting. So yeah, when you get back to your home base. Yeah. Yep. Right, Monkey, and getting busted on the phone with other content creators outside the courthouse door. Yeah, remember, she doesn't follow rules, right? She was told to stay outside in the hall, and she had her ear up to the door in the courthouse. The rules don't apply to her, apparently, allegedly. She breaks rules. Right there shows you that she breaks the rules, even at a courthouse. You guys, I was recently at a courthouse and I went into the bathroom and there was a big basket of condoms on the countertop in a courthouse. Big basket of condoms in the ladies' bathroom. I'm thinking, is that what I think it is? And I picked one up. I'm like, yeah, that's what it is, and threw it back. Like, God, that's weird to have that in a courthouse. Anyway, I don't think this is. I don't think this. I don't think it is. But that's just me. Yeah. Well, you gotta say, well, who else would it be? Was watching Toddy earlier today, and my mom and sister got on the bed with me, wanting 411 on who is Toddy. Oh, really? Were you watching her and Phil? Because that's the one I saw just earlier. Her and Phil talking about these pictures and how somebody supposedly has one naked of Timmy. Like, wait, what? She opened the door and stuck a foot right in. Yep. Yeah. Hooker heaven. Chat would make them glad from here, our chat. Yeah. Make them glad. Make them glad. Don't be crappy. Don't be sad. Encourage safe sex and unwanted. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, maybe for the hookers that are going to court? I don't know. I just thought, what a weird thing to have in a courtroom bathroom. A big basket, too. Somebody could have taken the whole thing. I mean, but yeah, just I've never seen that in a courthouse. And he says he doesn't watch bullshit. Yeah, always watching. Yep. And you know what? Speaking of Toddy's live stream, oh, okay. Encourage safe that. Yeah, you're right. I understood what you meant. Yeah, yeah. For anybody who maybe needs them, you know what I mean. Government condoms like government. Yeah, yeah. You know what they say? There's no free cheese in the trap. Yeah, he is so unhinged. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if I trust government condoms. Anyway, so yeah, so Toddy and Phil were talking, and they were kind of discussing. You know, she did an interview with Patrick a couple days ago, right? And Patrick was kind of saying some little, reminiscing of the time with Timmy, Patrick and Timmy being together, and how he came up to the house. Timmy came up to the house one morning and, just walked right in the house and was going to take the coffee, and Patrick woke up. But a couple funny stories. But he was talking about Little House on the Prairie being one of Timmy's favorite shows. He didn't want to watch Blue's Clues and Sesame Street. For crying out loud, the guy's almost 50. You know what I mean? Patrick said he likes monster trucks and Little House on Prairie. Now, Little House on Prairie is good for adults and is good for children. And Phil was saying, "Oh, it was a very dark show. It was a terrible show. It was very dark." And in a way, I have to agree. But I will say, when you're a kid, you don't see this stuff. When you're a kid, it goes right over your head. But when you watch Little House on Prairie as an adult, it's kind of disturbing. Mm-hmm. Oh man, that water's good. If they're not lubricated, maybe I could steal them to balloons on ferments. Oh, like on your like on wine. Do you make wine? And you put the balloon on top of the wine bottle? My parents used to make wine. And they had a wine cellar and they made their own wine. Noah's Ark, Patrick's son is calling AD out on his page. Oh, I'm sorry. It looked like Noah's Ark because I'm used to reading the Bible. It says Noah Rourke. Really? Well, let's go see What's his name? Noah Rourke. Is that his YouTube channel name? Hold on a second. Let's pull that up. Noah, is that his channel? Let's give him some support, huh? Yeah, let's go over here. Noah, he must have been Noah Rourke. All right, because Patrick really didn't say too much. I mean, he was kind of tame about the whole thing. The few Noah Rourke's stalk me. Is that him? Here, you guys. Which one is it? There's a few of them. Is it this one at the top here? It says stalk me Instagram. Which one is it, you guys? Let me pull up my other thing here. Oh my gosh, it's still open up the windows and it might have been too soon. It's still really hot and humid out. Dang. All right, so all right, let me see your comment real quick. All right. Orange. Wait a second. I gotta look on my other thing for your comments. Oh my gosh, this thing's being impossible. All right. Oh, I gotta get back over here. The orange one. Orange one. It's got a. Well, thank you, Grace. I'm gonna use this. Grace just put that up there. Shoot. All right. All right, Grace has it. Noah Rourke. All right. So, yeah, so he was talking. Patrick was talking about the pictures and stuff, but he didn't really. I don't think he really gave a lot of information in his thing, except stuff we already kind of knew. Oh, okay. Okay. It is the one that says stalk me. Let's see. Did he make videos? Huh. Anyway, you sure that's the right one, huh? All right. Well, you can check it out. It's on his comments from tonight about the channel, about Patrick's channel. I mean, Patrick's son's channel. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, if they're. Imagine somebody coming home and jars all over those sticking upright died to fermentation process. Really? That would be kind of weird. They'd be weird looking when they blow up, that's for sure. Patrick did a real good job of humanizing Timmy. Yeah. Yeah, he's not a baby. Timmy is not a baby. All right, so can you imagine getting any other 47-year-old who's older than you? Can you imagine him bringing him to your hotel and trying to teach him the ABCs? When you're a grown-ass man and you learned ABCs 40 years ago, like everybody else? Yeah. A, okay, say B, B, C. Like, oh my goodness. Look, everybody, Eric taught Timmy how to read. Wow, he should get it. He should adopt Timmy. I heard AD say you don't make big bucks on YouTube, not without Susan. I almost blurted out, Patrick has me in his corner, so it won't be a problem, but bit my tongue and stayed in the bushes. You heard AD say you don't make big bucks on YouTube not without Susan. He doesn't make big bucks without you? Who's he referring to doesn't make big bucks? Some of those episodes were, yes, okay, Little House on the Prairie, you guys, was really dark. Phil is right, but as a kid, it goes right over your head. Kind of like, like if a kid watches like South Park or anything like that, even Simpsons, stuff goes over your head, right? Even Flintstones stuff goes over our head. But there were episodes like when Albert got addicted to morphine. Remember Albert was, remember the doctor in the town? Got Doc something. Doc Baker, I think it was. Anyway, the doctor was asking Albert to deliver a package to this sick lady who was dying, and it was morphine, right? And so Albert was, being the mule, and he was running the packets over. One day he stopped under a shade tree and kind of opened up the thing, you know what I mean? And took a little taste, and one thing led to another, and pretty soon he's a full-blown morphine addict. You know what I mean? And then he had to like go through withdrawals, and was just like, wait, what? So that was weird. Yeah. And there's another, you see, we went over this when I had a Bible study channel because, oh my goodness. Okay. So, Michael Landon, he directed it, and he starred in it, right? Well, he didn't really totally direct it because somebody else directed it, and I'll tell you who that was in a second. But so he I think he directed some episodes, other people others. But anyway, Michael Landon said that he, in a article that I read, that he used to summon his dead dad for show ideas, right? And you can look this up. I'm sure the article is still there, but I found an article where Michael Landon said in an interview that he used to summon the spirit of his dead dad and ask him for show ideas. And I think, I don't know who he ended up giving him the show ideas, but yeah, they're really dark. So there was another one that right off the top of my head, the one that I talked about during our Bible study was, okay, so basically the town has a Catholic priest, right? What was his name? I can't remember, but the priest with the collar, right? That's a Catholic father, right? It's a priest. And so this Catholic priest decides they want a new bell, right? A bell. And everything about this episode goes against the Bible. Everything about it. Which is funny because the priest was organizing this campaign to get a new church bell, right? Because the priest was already at another town and he was coveting their bell, right? He was jealous of the bell. And he wanted that bell. But they said, well, let's get our own bell, right? So we'll have the biggest bell, because they had a bigger bell and than them. So he came back and said, we need a bigger church bell. We need, they got a good one. We want a good one. So anyway, right off the bat, it's just like not good. Anyway, so they kind of had this thing going where whoever donated the money for the bell got to have their name on a plaque. And I think it was the Olsons, the rich people that ran the store. So Mr. and Mrs. Olson, they wanted to pay for the bell, but they wanted a plaque with their name on it, right? And they're like, nah, we don't want anybody's name on it or whatever. So it's just kind of a controversy. But then what happened behind the scenes was kind of creepy and weird. Okay. So this guy, this big like deaf mute, right? He's a mute. He kind of looked retarded, but this big giant guy, and his name was Tinker Jones. That's the name of the episode, Tinker Jones. And what was weird is because, Tinker Bell, right? But Tinker gets involved with his ballot, right? Which is weird. Like, wait a minute, Tinker Bell? Anyway, so Tinker gets this idea. He sees that the townspeople are having a problem because they want their name on the bell or whatever. He said, well, let's make our own bell. Because Tinker was this transient, right? They called him a traveling metal, what do they call it? Metalsmith. You know what I mean? Somebody who makes things out of metal, melts things down and makes things. So this transient, traveling handyman. That's what he was. A traveling handyman, which means, is, a transient. And, but anyway, so this big giant tinker guy who doesn't speak, he has to, when he sells things, he has to like write down the price and stuff. So all he knows is how to write. Anyway, this big tinker guy, for some reason, he's got children coming to us where he's staying, right? And he's out in the woods or something. Anyway, he's got these children coming to see him, and they're not supposed to tell their parents, right? And so the kids are with this big mute, kind of retarded guy named Tinker, who is giant. He's just a giant. And Tinker, I don't know if he wrote it out, but he tells the kids this plan. He's got a plan that they're going to make their own bells so nobody has to have their name on it, right? So he tells the kids to go out. Don't tell anybody that you're talking to me. He says, just go out and start stealing things. So he tells the kids to just go out and find all the metal that you can. So they show the kids, they're sneaking into people's sheds and stealing their shovels. I mean, you guys, things weren't mass produced back then. A shovel or a rake, okay? That farmer, that person, probably every single person, probably saved up a lot of money to buy that shovel. And they probably traded a sheep or a goat or something for it. You know what I mean? So it's not like us. I mean, just get another one for $5 at garage sale. He's got the kids stealing things from their parents, from strangers, sneaking into people's sheds. So all the kids are out stealing things, right? And then they all bring it back to Tinker, and then they throw it in this big pot, and they melt all this stuff down, and they made a bell. And I don't really remember the rest of the story. But you know what though? Here's a fun fact. Hold on a second. Here's a fun fact. That episode with Tinker, and it's just weird. Anyway, I don't remember the rest, but I just remember, like, wait a minute. This guy, this transient, is in the woods with all these children, telling them not to tell their parents, and then had some out stealing stuff. Oh, that's another one. Hey, Brooks and Garden, good to see you tonight. Yeah, another one where Albert's girlfriend was being messed with by her daddy and with child. So there's another one where Albert had a girlfriend. And the girlfriend was, being diddled by her own dad. And she ends up getting pregnant. And then in order to escape everything, she jumps off a cliff to her death. The end. Yeah, blacksmith. Thank you. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to show you a fun fact about that. Here, let me post something up. Did you guys know? A second. Did you guys know who made their acting debut in that Tinker episode on Little House on Prairie? I'm going to show you. I can pull it up. Hold on a second. There it is. Guess who made that same episode? You know who made their acting debut? Sean Penn. There's Sean Penn. He made his act. So yeah, here's all the little kids that Tinker was tinkering with. Okay, so in this episode, all these little kids are stealing things. Tinker has them go stealing because Leo Penn, Sean Penn's dad, Leo, directed that episode, right? And Sean Penn's mother is also in this, and Sean Penn's mom also was in this episode. So the dad directed it, the mom's in it, Leo's in it, and I think his sister. I don't know. Anyway, there was a few of his family members were in this, but yeah, this was Sean Penn's debut was in that Tinker. Here, let me see. Let's see, Tinker. See, there's Sean Penn. Here's Tinker. Actually, let me see Tinker. Little House Tinker. Let's take Sean Penn out of the picture. Come on, kitty. All right, let's see Tinker. Yeah, here's Tinker. There's Tinker. Yeah, go steal stuff and bring it to me. Yeah, just sneak. We're going to do it. Don't tell your parents you're talking to me. I'm a traveling handyman. Yeah, yeah. This is our little secret. Yeah, this is our little secret. Okay. That's weird. Yeah. Now don't tell your parents you're coming to see me. Like, okay. That's weird. Yeah, and I think he had other family members in there too, but I can't remember who. I know the mom was in that. hmm Didn't Michael Landon's son talk a lot of trash about him after he died? Yeah, I think so. Michael Landon was supposedly he's a bad alcoholic, and he was an alcoholic on the set too. And so he had a drinking problem, and he could get mean, as they do. Yeah. Weird. But yeah, so if you really look at these episodes, there's some disturbing stuff. Now, yeah, as a kid, you might not really catch it, you know what I mean? But yeah. Anyway. Let me go back see because the comments here. But I love that Little House on Prairie. I love that show. It was on at 4 o'clock every day, and I would watch it. You know, when I was staying home with my kids, and anytime I could. Usually I was working, but you can record them on VHS. Your dad's 85 and still makes wine? Uh, that's cool, Susan. Yeah, my parents did that too. Grace Patrick was alerted last night that ED was in the bushes. He admitted it, but he said he only for a couple minutes. I heard about 15 on true side of his mouth tonight. Wildcat. Well, hey, Catwoman. Did I say hi to you? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Only 15? Orange, it's on 80s count. Okay. Noah will whip 80s bony ass for sure, yeah. Is it the right one? I don't know if that's the right one. There's several Noah's work. Noah made a comment on AD channel about AD when he was in prison. Huh. Oh, so Patrick's son is in his chat talking? Huh. Catwoman, I'm not surprised he has a problem with the truth. He seems to have an allergy to it. He said it today. Today? He wouldn't know the truth if it bit him in the ass. Yeah, Albert got hooked when they lived in the city. Is that what happened? Yeah, I remember when they're in the city, but I remember he was taking it from Doc Baker when he was supposed to bring it to a cancer patient or somebody that was dying. I don't think they had cancer back then, but somebody that was dying. And Albert stopped off and would pinch it, you know what I mean? Does everyone have sound or is it just me? I have sound, okay. Never mind, it's back, okay. Yeah, I never know with my stuff here. Sound works for me, maybe leave and come back, yep. Well, hey, Brooks and Gardens, good to see you, welcome. Hope you had a wonderful day. Reverend Alden, thank you, Alicia. Reverend Alden, that's who it was, yeah. Couldn't think of who it was. Yeah, Reverend Alden, yeah. Yeah, he wanted to build just bigger than the neighbors, than other town. He went to, I don't know, some other town for something and saw they had a bigger bill, which is coveting. I mean, the Reverend should have known the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not covet, you know what I mean? Even though the Catholics changed the 10 Commandments, that's still on there. In fact, they made it go on there twice because they replaced the one about the statues. There was that episode with Albert's girlfriend. Yeah, she jumped off a cliff and died to get away from her incestuous father. Hey, Tie-Dye Gamma, good to see you tonight. Welcome. Hope you had a wonderful day. Hope everybody's staying cool. I don't know if it's a heat wave everywhere still, but it seems like everybody was hot. Didn't Michael Landon song? Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah. I remember seeing a picture of the sun. Curly hair, whatever. Yeah, talking about. In the chat, somebody. Yeah, it was Sean Penn. Yeah, I'll show you. Maybe here it is. Sean Penn, because his dad, Leo or whatever his dad's name. Dang it! Hold on a second. No, what the hell just happened? I bumped something because the kittens are trying to step on my keyboard, so I got my keyboard, and then I bumped it. There. That's Tinker. But yeah, Sean Penn. In this episode with Tinker, Sean Penn made his acting debut. There he is right there. Cat's on my thing here. I have little kittens all over here. Yeah, Sean Penn there he is, his acting debut. Because his dad directed it. I can't remember his dad's name starts with an L or something. His dad directed it. Mom was in it too, and I think his sister or something. Yeah, I'll see. It says 14-year-old Sean Penn made his uncredited acting debut on Little House on the Prairie, Season 1, Episode 11, The Voice of Tinker Jones, 1974. He appeared as a background extra in scenes directed by his father, Leo Penn. The episode, The Voice of Tinker Jones, Episode 1, Season 1, Episode 11. This was the first season. Aired on December 4th, 1974, revolves around the town of Walnut Grove needing a new church bell and features a traveling, background, deaf-mute craftsman named Tinker Jones. Behind the scenes, famous story emerged from Sean Penn's brief time on the set while filming scenes where the child actors were. Oh, listen to this. While filming scenes where, what I told you, they're melting down all the metal, people, shovels or rakes, everything. They're just stealing everything from everybody. It was just horrible. But anyway, so they melted it all down, right? And then the kids, this was on the set. It said, while filming scenes where the child actors were crowded around the hot forge, the future Oscar winner actually passed out from the heat. Castmate Allison Ingram, who played Nellie Olson, later recalled that this incident finally convinced the show's producer that the set was dangerously hot. Adding to the family affair, Sean Penn's mother, Eileen Ryan, also guest starred in the episode as Mrs. Kennedy. So Sean Penn, not only was his first acting gig, but he passed out from the heat from the big bucket of metal being heated up. Anyway, I thought that was funny. Did I say hi to Miss January? Good to see you tonight. Welcome. Red Frog, good to see Red Frog tonight. I have a white frog that's living on my propane tank under the cover. He's there every year. One year he had a friend. He had husband or wife or something. And that was one season. Now he's alone again the last couple of years. But he's under there. A white frog. I guess they're really rare. Yeah. All right. Yeah. 5 minutes over, I did it. And my kids watched The House on Prairie. We all liked it. Netflix is coming out with a new Little House on Prairie. Oh, hopefully they got different writers. Because that was kind of dark. When Phil said it was dark, I know what he meant. There was a lot of bad things. Yeah. And then remember Mary went blind from I don't know, a fever or something. She ended up blind. Well, then she married the blind guy. I forgot her husband's name. So Mary, being blind, married another man being blind, right? And so there was this explosion again. Albert, I don't know if he was high or what, but he had an explosion or something. He burnt the house down, and during the explosion, Mary's husband gets his sight back, right? Just like a cartoon, right? Anyway, So Mary's husband can see now, right? Now that he can see, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go to college," right? And he just kind of leaves her in the dust, just comes like distant from her. He's like, "Okay, I can see now. I'm too good for you. I'm going to go off to the big city and become a doctor." And yeah, I'll see you later. Yeah, yeah, that was weird too. And speaking of that, okay, so my husband came from a blind family, right? His mom and dad were both blind. The mom, my mother-in-law was blind from birth, I think, and the father-in-law, my father-in-law was blind from an illness or something. But they both ended up blind, right? And they both ended up at the Faribault School for the Blind, and that's where Little House on the Prairie was supposed to have Mary and her husband. I remember they had episodes of Faribault School for the Blind. Well, my in-laws both went to that school when they were children, and that's where my husband's parents met. His mom and dad met at the Faribault School for the Blind, and they ended up having kids and stuff. So anyway, I was having that fabric sale here, right? Like, I don't know, last year or whatever. I told you guys a few horror stories that happened during my sale. But I was talking to this lady, and she was saying, we were talking about something about being blind. And I said, yeah, I said, that's where my in-laws met, at the Faribault School for the Blind, because they're both blind. She said, you're kidding. I said, no, why? She said, her parents met at the Faribault School for the Deaf. And I'm like, they have a school for the deaf? I didn't even know that. So Faribault also has a school for the deaf. And that's where her parents met. So I thought, that's so weird. I didn't know they had one for the deaf. Anyway, that's where my in-laws met when they were young, at the Faribault School for the Blind. That's where supposedly Mary and the Ingalls were at. And the guy that got his sight back and left in the dust. Yeah. Well, I remember Sean first from the Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Yeah, right. I remember that. Well, thank you, Tie Dye Gammy. Good to see you tonight. And thank you, everybody, for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And it doesn't cost anything. It takes less than a second, and I really appreciate it. Good to see you tonight, Tie Dye Gammy. I'm not sure if I said hi. Yeah. Good to see you, Tie Dye. On Netflix, coming out with a new Little House on the Prairie. That'll be interesting. They'll have like lookalikes. I finally found Noah's post, and at the end of 80s Live, that's funny. Doesn't he work at Indiana during the week? AD threatened to pull up on Patrick if he made him too mad, the same as he said. Oh, now he's threatening to pull up on Patrick? Wow. He won't, because Patrick's a man. It's so weird, like when somebody doesn't get their way, they instantly revert to threats and violence. It's sick. I would not want to be that person. That time period, things were different. John Wayne, for example. Yeah. Yeah, John Wayne. Hey, Pilgrim. I think a lot of people really like John Wayne. He was tall, man. He was really tall. Little man child seriously needs mental health therapy. Yeah. That's a lot of anger. In the chat, somebody who, yeah, okay, so you got it. Yeah. Well, yeah, I didn't watch but 5 minutes of him. That's it. I'm so over as narcissistic woman hater. He definitely hates women. Yep. And what's with the cross dressing? Why does he wear women's wigs? That's weird. I saw in a thumbnail he's cross dressing, I guess. Not my monkey, Sean Penn. Yes. Yeah, it was Sean. Yeah, it was Sean Penn. Yep. Yeah. Watching replay, Mom Talk. Yeah. Hey, I'd be fine. Good to see you tonight. Yeah, Mom Talk. She should make the channel called Mom Talk. Sarah, if you're listening, you should call it Mom Talk. Because yeah, Patrick already did Bad Talk, mocking it. Yeah. Anyway, good to see you. I'd be fine. Yeah. Just run hi there. Yep. Hello. Let's see. I hope I said hi to everybody. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. It's January. Everyone's saying hi. Um. Here, I'm gonna go on my phone because these comments are really sticky. It doesn't want to scroll, so let me pull it up a different way. Yeah. Sean Penn gave an excellent performance on Carlito's Way as a lawyer. You know what? I liked Sean Penn. I think it was him. Remember that movie Bad Boys when he was in prison? He was in a boys' prison or whatever, and they were trying to beat him up and stuff. So he goes to his jail cell and he gets a pillowcase, right? And he goes to the pop machine and gets, I don't know, 6 Pepsis or something, a whole bunch of cans of pop out of the pop machine. And he brings them back and puts them all inside the pillowcase and ties it, right? And he lays there like he's sleeping. And when the people come in to attack him, he gets up with that pillowcase full of canned pops and he just whoops everybody. Never saw White Front. Well, I will do a video about it tomorrow. I've taken pictures of him. I think it's really rare. Yeah, it's white, kind of pale tan, or not tan, it's white. Forty kept over talking Patrick tonight and putting a spin on what Patrick's that Catwoman. That's a regular trick. Does it with Toddy too, because he knows when the part that is not going to make him look good, so he starts talking over that part. He's done that forever. Yeah, that's what he's done the whole time. Talk over the part that makes him sound good. You know what I mean? Jim Jones effect. Yeah. I have one of them too. It's a tree frog, but they're usually green. Yeah, it's under my propane and my propane tank under the lid. So when I go check my propane, I say, hello, frog. I agree. I used to like them until the creators started going after each other. Yeah, I never went after anybody. I'm just here doing my own thing. That's not my style. You know, if you don't like somebody, guess what? Turn it off. You know what I learned? You know how many, guess what, you guys? Just guess how many YouTube channels there are. Because I thought, yeah. How many YouTube channels are there? Get this. Currently over 115 million YouTube channels worldwide. 60 million of those actively upload new content on a monthly basis. 60 million YouTube channels are uploading every month. Okay, so if you don't like this, guess what? There's 69 million other channels you can watch. You see, that's what I do. If I don't like something, I turn it off. Doesn't take too much of a brain cell to figure that out. And just don't go there again. Pretty easy. But the attacking and the name calling and, oh, she's all dried out. Like, okay, what a perv. I mean, how many times can people listen to that before they want to puke? Because that's what's in the imagination, okay? At least say something that's true, you know what I mean? But yeah, name calling and disgusting, filthy things making up that I'm a lesbian and everything else when he knows damn well I'm not. That's what he does. He doesn't want you to hear the truth. Yeah, right, Florida, you know. Talks right over that part. Yes, if he actually watched and paid attention and get off his high horse, he wouldn't be so mad. Yeah, just chill the fuck out. Mary was married. Yeah, Adam. Thank you, Alicia. It was Adam. You're right. Yeah, so Adam got his sight back. And then all of a sudden he was like too good for her. He was going to medical school, remember? He was meeting new people and yep. Yep. That's how it is. Oh, as a matter of fact, we ran into a pervert today. Um, so me and my friend went to eat lunch at A&W, right? And we went inside because it was freaking hot as hell. So we go inside to eat, right? And we order our stuff and we sit down. And anyway, when we're eating, my friend says the guy behind you is taking pictures. I said, of what? The back of my head? And she said, I don't know. I think she's trying to take pictures of me or someone who she said, who's behind me? I said, well, there is a mom and her two kids eating. And she said, yeah, he's holding the camera up above because the booths were like up to your shoulder, right? So he's holding the camera up. So she said, every time I like bend over to eat, he's taking pictures. And then I said, well, tell me when he gets up. Right. So then she said, he's getting up. He's getting up. And he gets up and he's got this big bag of food to go. Okay. He wasn't even eating, you guys. He got his food to go and he sat down in the booth behind us, just taking pictures. And I don't know if it was of my friend, my back of my head, or the kids in front of behind us. But he gets the bag of food, and instead of going out the door by his car, he goes out the other door, goes around the building, and walks right past us by the window. Right, makes a point to walk past us. And I watch him, and he goes out to this car with Wisconsin plates. Right, I'm in Minnesota. Wisconsin's not very far. It's 10, 15 minutes over the border, but he's got Wisconsin plates. And he puts the big bag of food in the car, in the passenger side, shuts the door, and he walks away, and he goes back around to the back of the building. Anyway, before I left, I wanted to use a coupon so I could bring some hamburgers home to my dogs. And so I go up and we're ordering my burgers to go for the dogs. And my friend told the lady, she said there was a creep over there taking pictures. And the girl said, was it that old guy? And she said, yeah, yeah. So the girl already had her radar up on this pervert guy, right? And he said, yeah. I told her, I said, he took his food, didn't eat it. He went, took pictures, and then he went out really the wrong door so he could purposely walk past us, or maybe the mom and the kids. I don't know who the hell he's taking pictures. I said, he went, put the food in the car. Now he's behind your building right now. He's back by your back door right now. And anyway, got the food and left, and then his car was gone. So anyway, if they look back, and then I went back in because I ordered, right? So we went outside. My friend had a cigarette, and I said, I'm going to go get my burgers. So I go back in, and when I go back in, they got a lot of people there. All the kids were talking about that pervert. Anyway, I hope they run the video back because they'll see what we're talking about. It was bad. Yeah. Anyway. Yes, we have a pervert sighting today ourselves, personally. And you know what? He looked just like the kind that you see getting arrested on those cop shows, or on like Catch a Predator. Let's see, early 50s, dumpy, gross looking fat guy. You know what I mean? Your typical, like if there was a stereotype for a pervert, that guy fit it, man. Anyway. Yeah. Let's see. I really lost track of the comments. Yeah. 40 saw Hinge. He has to pervert his women, or prove to his women on there that he's all truth and everybody else is stupid because he knows the psychology he's using, my words. Yeah, I agree with you. I wondered what happened to you over there. I started to pull back watching because of all the hate he spewed, and I noticed you wasn't in the chat. Yeah. Now he had country music on, sitting in the dark, saying he went fishing. He has no life but YouTube. Went fishing. That's hilarious. John Wayne's his original name was Marion. That's right. Marion doesn't sound so tough for a cowboy. They call him Mary for short. Isn't it weird how 80 quit Whittaker videos? They were the only topic on his channel. Well, I don't know if he quit, William. Good to see you tonight. He goes back Whittaker's and Toddy. Whittaker's and Toddy. That's all he's got. So I don't think he quit. Well, he's just talking about getting naked pictures of Timmy a couple nights ago. So country music, City in the Dark. That's depressing. Mom talk too. Yeah. Yes. There you go, Betty. Mom talk too. It's funny. He hasn't quit talking about the Whittakers at all. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's all he's got. Toddy and the Whittakers. I thought he said he was done. No, he always says he's done. And then the next day he does it again. That's just something he said. January watching was too much. If you watch him enough, you'll see his hate, hypocrisy, and gatekeeping cult. He is a liar. Yeah, I listen. You know, he's insulting your intelligence. He thinks you're dumb. You know, if you believe that shit. Hey, Nazarene, good to see you tonight. I love that name, Nazarene. William, I wish I had $1 for every time he said it. It was the last night talking about the Whittakers. Then the next night, that's all he talked about. Yeah, you're right, Catwoman. What he says and does is two different entities. Okay, I don't listen to him, but yeah, no. No, he was done talking about Toddy too, and 2 days later he was talking about Toddy again. That's all he's got. All he's got. But I heard the country music. I like all music, by the way. Once he started talking, I couldn't take it, so I left. I just wanted to know what he was going to whine about. I love all music, but never in a year. Yeah. I think country music when you're sad. Plenty of variety to choose from. Yeah. Yeah, there's a million. How many millions? 60 million channels. Yeah, if you don't like this one, click off because there's 60 million more that upload. Pretty sad. He just sat in his house and eats gummies every night and streams. No dates, no friends, no family, just YouTube. Yeah, William, unfortunately, there's a lot of people like that. You know, hit their bottom. Yeah. I'm curious as to how he searched for Toddy's dad. I have never been able to look up a federal case. Guess you can't. She said her dad was in the witness protection. That means you're not going to find him. Period. You're not going to find him. And why would you? Who cares about finding Toddy's dad? You know what I mean? Now, why would listen? You know how much time? You know how much? Do you know how many things I could accomplish in the time that somebody wastes looking for Toddy's dad? Shit, I can cut my grass. I can work on my garden. I can go do my errands. You know, there's a lot of things I can do rather than trying to find somebody's dad. Listen, I don't care who people are. I don't dox people. I don't care. I'm talking to you. In fact, when YouTube first started doing live streams, I was here before there was live streams. And when they started first doing live streams, a message came up constantly. It said, it is against the law to use your real name. Remember that, Grace? There was always, YouTube would kept putting up notifications like every time you went live, it'd say, it's against the law to use your real name. You must use a whatever, fake name or whatever. Protect your identity. Do not use your real name. These banners used to come up when I did my first live streams when they first started. Yeah, it is a sad life. He does it because they will throw him money so he can say loudly, make her mad. Make who mad? I'm not watching. Toddy's not watching. And why would we be mad if he gets $1? It's like watching a bum getting $1 handed to him. Oh, I'm so mad. The bum got $1 handed to him. Like, why would that make me mad? It's pathetic, actually. Susan, he hasn't done shit. He's dog whistling to his people to do it. He said a million times he has watchers. Witness protection cases are just that, witness protection. You're not supposed to be able to find anything, duh. But because the little man can't find it, he says it doesn't. Well, okay, then fine. It doesn't exist. Okay, next. Go on to something else. Okay, it doesn't exist. Yeah, you're right. But this just shit people waste their day on. You know what? That's why they're where they're at, okay? That's why they're where they're at, because they waste their time with bullshit that they think is important. In the meantime, you have to live a sad, pathetic existence, you know what I mean? Because you haven't done shit in real life. Yeah. Yeah, well, I want to know how to look up federal cases. You want, well, you can look up a federal case, but not if it's in a witness protection. I mean, you can FOIA federal cases unless they're sealed. Oh, he's a law professor. Federal cases have you sign up information. I have done it. I'm signed up for Raleigh County. I had to give them all my information to get anything. You have to give them your name, your address, everything. I did. I gave them all my information, and then it comes up and it tells you. Then once, and every time you go on there, you have to authenticate your account. So every single time you go on there, they have to find out that it's you. Then they send you an email. Then you have to prove it's you. And then once you prove it's you, then they let you in. And then you find what you want. And then you pick it out. And it goes into a shopping cart. And then when you're ready to check out, you check out just like eBay or Walmart. You check out and they'll tell you how much it is and you pay for it. And then you instantly then they instantly bring it up. So yeah, you have to give them all your information each and every time. Once you have an account. So yeah, first you have to create they have to confirm everything, who you are and stuff. And then once they do that, you still have to sign in every time. And they still have to send you a code. And then they send you a number and then you type that number in and then you're in again. So yeah, it's not like the other records. You have to you have to give them all your information. All right, like you lied about you calling the cops, Susan Coppers told him. They said Susan called the police on who? I love watching the content creator who just makes up lies. They're getting emails, don't check them out to see if they're real or not. Patrick and Eric both did the family wrong. That's right. Yeah, they did. They did. The only difference is Patrick's being held accountable and Eric hasn't been yet. So as long as they're both held accountable, I'd be happy. And then whatever happens in the court happens. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's not worth my time. My time is valuable. Every minute of it's valuable. And that's why I can say I'm coming on here at 9:30 and I'm still rushing at 9:30 because I have to cook my dogs their dinner and feed the inside cats, the outside cats, and all this. This is the last thing I do. And yeah, so I'm rushing right up to 9:30. I cracked up today. He was telling people go outside. He screamed for, people need, everybody else needs to go outside. That's funny. Yeah, somebody told me that he said that for me to go touch grass. Are you kidding? I touch it, I grow it, I cut it. I mean, I lawnmower it, I weed whip it. Everything. Yeah, that is funny. He's so unhinged. He's yelling at me, telling me to go look up for dad. Like, what the fuck, dude? I don't care. People, family members. Right? Who does? Who cares about people's family members? That's a sick, pathological sicko. Who cares about your family? Listen, you know what Susan's name is? Susan said so much. You know what Grace's name is? Grace Styles. You know what Florida's name is? Florida Life in the Sun. Period. Get over it. You know what my name is? Curious Deep Side. Well, you can call me Calendar Kathy. Yeah. So yeah, people need to get a life. Get off the computer. Sign off. You know, go a day without overindulging in drugs. You know what I mean? He has copied everything about me and word. How is it any different than tossing a fish to the seal at the zoo or a peanut to a squirrel? Make them, yeah. Yeah. He's just bigger on the side of the road. Yeah, he is just like a beggar on the side of the road holding up a sign. Yeah, $1. I can't pay my rent. $1, please. And then if someone hands a dollar, we're supposed to be mad. Like, okay, I don't care if a bum gets $1. In fact, I'll, you know what I mean? If I see a real bum on the road, I'll give him $1 myself. Yeah. This is most people saw through him, you know. The lady with the blue truck. Yeah, yeah, I'm the lady with the blue truck. I have 2 trucks. The blue one is one of them. And I think people have seen, wow, it's getting really windy and there's cold air. Wow, that's nice. Yeah, get my license plate. Yeah, get my license plate. Maybe the cops can track me down. Yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting. Not. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to tell you guys. So, in 2017, I started doing live streams. That's when YouTube let you start doing it on their own platform. See, there was live streams before 2017. You could go on WhatsApp. I think it was WhatsApp or that other one. I think it was WhatsApp. You could stream on YouTube, but it had to have like WhatsApp or something. But when YouTube got the buttons on there to do it from them, I started going live then, and immediately I got doxxed. And to this day I don't even know who it was, but they had my name out there, they had my address out there, they had everything about me out there. They had my mom, my dad, my late husband. They would come in here threatening me. They were going to chop me up, put me in a fire pit, poke my eyes out, all this bullshit. They were sending pizzas to my house every night during the live stream. They would come in the chat with my husband's name, my late husband's name, and his photograph. His obituary picture was the thumbnail or his icon. So it would come in with my late husband's name and his picture. And they would come in with my late mother's name and her obituary picture too. So whoever it was getting obituary pictures from my family, and they're coming in the chat, which, listen, that didn't bother me. Ask Grace. Listen, it was a while since my mom passed away, and it was a while since my husband passed away. So it wasn't like, I'm shocked. No, it was actually kind of nice to see their faces. But just shows you how sick people are. So I've been doxxed. I've been to this. My name was out there. They were sending, and then they even put something in my vehicle under my car seat, under my truck seat. So I've been doxxed, fully doxxed. My name, everything, address out there. Every night when I was doing live stream, the doorbell would ring and there'd be pizzas. And the poor pizza people, they'd be out their money. Listen, and I'd open the door and say, I'm sorry, somebody's playing a trick on you. I didn't order nothing. I would even shut off all the lights, make it look like nobody's home, and go in a back upper bedroom, a spare room, where you couldn't see from the road, and make it look like nobody was home. And the pizza people would ring the doorbell, and you're not playing trick on me. You're playing trick on the pizza people. The pizza place was out there money. The delivery guy just did all that work for nothing. He don't get paid. He don't get no tips. So you're screwing over the pizza guy. You're screwing over the pizza place. It's not doing anything to me. And so that went on for months. And I did go to the police. I didn't do the right procedure last time. And that's why, it went on nightly for a long time. Yeah. No matter how many times you blocked him, he'd come back. So I've already been through this shit. And this is why I'm not going to tolerate it next time. Because now I know better. Wow, it is pouring rain. That's good. I'm glad because I didn't water all the garden today. Downpouring. Yeah. It went, yeah. My family's obituary pictures, my family's names. You know, yeah, it was sick. So guess what? It happens again. I'm not tolerating it. Not gonna tolerate it. I didn't know better back in 2017. What was that? 9 years ago? 9 years ago, I didn't know any better. But now I do. And now I know that I don't have to tolerate this bullshit. Yeah. If I would stop talking about it, he would have to figure out its own. Yeah. I don't talk about him. I don't. He's not a subject over here. Yep. I'm online a lot, especially when my meds aren't working. I constantly play catch up, waiting until I can dose again. Because I won't take them early and wanting them to work. It makes it so it seems like I'm online all the time. A few hours and back. Pity the person tracking my. I don't think anybody's tracking your online time. It's more noticeable when a content creator is online because people that comment. Listen, I could comment all day too. I could comment in the morning. I could comment when I'm waiting for to check out at the store. I could comment all different times of the day. Doesn't mean that I'm on there all the time. So I'm basically referring to content creators. Yeah. Oh, we got a storm here. He won't say lady plane, but he yells about things I post. He actually changed a few things on him, so calling out smacky macky. Yeah, the lip smacking sounds are really disturbing. Yeah, I know that in itself. Yeah. And that's right. That's why I keep a file now. If somebody starts messing with me, you get a file, and I'm gonna be ready when I want to go to the police. Why would people play with? Because they're sick in the head and they ain't got nothing else going on. How did I get him to stop? I don't know. He just eventually did. It was a long time. I just ignored him, basically. I did file the police report, but I don't, I didn't have the guy's name or nothing. You know what I mean? And to this day, I really don't even know who it was. And this was during a Bible study, you guys. This was a Bible study channel. He was doing this to. Some sicko didn't like the Bible studies. You know what I mean? That's all it was. It wasn't a drama channel. It wasn't fighting with anybody. We were doing nightly Bible studies, and this sicko had somebody. Sometimes people just don't like you. You know what I mean? Not everybody's gonna like me, but instead of just turning the channel to the other 60 million channels, they feel like they need to try to run you off YouTube. It didn't work. It will never work. And so, yeah, never even said what he was mad about. He just started with death threats and stuff. Yeah. Needs to understand how serious to take this shit. No, he don't know. He won't know till it's too late. Figure out when the cuffs are on him, you know what I mean? Same with the Timmy photos, you know what I mean? I mean, the Timmy photos went way too far. These new photos, releasing those and stuff to the public was just sick, you know what I mean? That is somebody who's sick in the head. What if he did like you? Actually, that could be true, Nazarene. Sometimes they can like you too much or not enough. He might have, and maybe I rebuked him. I don't know, or rebuffed him or whatever. Maybe it was somebody that did like me, and yeah, it wasn't getting the attention he wanted. I don't know. Sometimes people do that too, though. Like in kindergarten, when you throw spitballs at somebody, but they actually secretly like them. I mean, or throw paper airplanes at somebody because you actually like them. I was attacked a few times. I just ignored it. I think it makes them matter. Yeah, and that's what I've done. I've just ignored them. I've ignored them. From now on, the trolls get ignored. I don't give them attention anymore. You're not going to get a video with me going back at you. No, it's not going to happen. You're just going to build a case against yourself quietly. Yeah. I think apartment dwellers have more free time. Homeowners or people on acreage are constantly doing maintenance projects. Seems like I have 10, 20 things. Yeah, runaway. Yeah, because if you have a home, especially with property, there's so much to do. You guys, if I didn't get out every day, just like that, I went for a walk back by the pond, and you know what? I got a tree that fell over. Half of it's in the pond. It's about the size of a person's thigh. You know, it's not big, but it's big enough. I got some trees that fell down. It's just constantly stuff happening that it takes a lot of work to maintain a large property. So, yeah, if I don't get out there every day, man, shit gets behind. It makes it so much harder the next day. This cult member is now posting on Facebook. Yeah, so I heard that the pictures of Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine are now on Facebook all over the place. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. With what he has on his record, he does not want any more problems with the law. Yeah. Yeah, if you got a criminal past. Yeah. Yep. But, you know, that's why people keep going back to prison all the time, because they don't learn. They don't learn. Oh my goodness, that feels so good with that rain. I don't know if you can hear it. That's loud. I just understand how he thinks it's okay to share the pics. Yes, if a public person can take pics, but morally, should you, with no care for the Whittakers? He actually thinks we don't care about them. I've done a lot of things that shows, you know, you can say what you want. You can say I care and they don't, but what do you see with your own eyes? Do you see them caring about Whittakers? No. Posting pictures of them when they're supposed to have their privacy. Talking shit about half the family. And what did you see on my channel? I was Team Whittaker, only Team Whittaker, not Team Patrick, not Team Eric. I was Team Whittaker. We tried, you know, we tried to help him. I tried to get a lawyer for him. You know, I tried to help him. And Toddy and you know, Toddy tried to do the Thanksgiving for them. Trying to make, you know, get them together for Thanksgiving dinner. And so people can say, you know, you can say one thing, but you got to go by what you're seeing. It's like I can say, I'm a good person. Well, you can say you're a good person all you want, but your actions would show otherwise. You know what I mean? But you can say anything. I could say, I'm an astronaut, rock star. You know what I mean? Doesn't. But what do you see? Do you see me being an astronaut, rock star? No. You could say whatever you want. Is it true? Yeah. But again, to quote him, I don't give a fuck about the family. Yeah, Grace said he said that. I don't give a fuck about the family. Yeah. How the hell does those people forget what he says? You know, I've wondered that too, Florida. I don't know if they're just low IQ or maybe they're not paying attention. I don't know. Maybe they don't watch them every day. That's why I was following your channel, because of the Whittaker family. Yeah. Yep, Nazarene. And yeah, I wanted them to do good, and I wanted to help them. There's just so much damage done now. So much damage. It's out of our hands, you know what I mean? It's more than is broken, and I can't fix it because they're drugged out of their mind. Yeah, that's right, Susan. Hi. Little baby kitty wants to be up with the other kitties. Yeah, I don't know how they got up here either, little baby. She ran away. But yeah, so anyway, you shouldn't have to tell people you're a good person. That's right, Alicia. In fact, how many times have you guys heard me try to convince you and say, you guys, I'm a good person? I don't have to do that. I don't have to. You can decide. See what I do and you decide if I'm a good person. Of course, subjective and objective is two different things, you know what I mean? Yeah, actions speak louder than words. Yeah, you know, Jim Jones thought he was a good person. So did, Ted Bundy. They all think they're good people. You shouldn't have to just tell people I'm a good person. Because that means you're trying to convince somebody that you're a good person. But yeah, so as far as Patrick's last few live streams, yeah, he's he didn't really say too much about those pictures. He's not happy about them, but he said he knows who did it, but he didn't really say who. So you didn't really get a lot of information, but he acted like the authorities. I guess I gathered that maybe what he's saying is that the authorities know who took him. I don't know. That's what I want to know. Do the authorities know about it? And did the authorities know who took the pictures? Susan, I absolutely believe that so many of his people are on drugs. He has people come up on chat nodding off. I felt bad that he couldn't just click them off the screen. People are nodding. People are nodding off. Wow. Well, you should do a video of his chat panel falling off. There's yeah, you know what they say, birds of a feather flock together, right? So if you're all jacked up, people hanging around you are jacked up too. You don't hang around with people unless they're just like you. You know what I mean? Unless you have things in common, right? So if you like angry, drug-induced, fueled rages, maybe that's what you do in your life. To me, it's gross. Yes, you'll know them by their fruits. That is scripture, and that is written by Paul, who's in the New Testament. And Paul says you'll know them by their fruits. And it tells you the fruits of the Spirit. And I think I can't remember, 7 or something. There's patience, joy. I can't remember. Anyway, he lists them off, and I think it's in Ephesians, if I remember right. Yeah, you'll know them by their fruits. They says, I think Jesus even said it too. There's a scripture that says, does a good tree bear good fruit? No. I mean, yes. So let me see how it goes. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit, right? So if you're a good tree, you're going to produce good fruit. If you're a bad tree, you're going to produce bad fruit, period. And you reap what you sow. Yeah. Negativity was getting to me. As helium boy voice. Yeah. Yeah. Can I come up? I'm so hurt. Why you hurt, TNT? My opinion is Elizabeth. Yeah, I think so too. What's wrong, TNT? I guess I could get you come up here. Let me know what you want to talk about, and I'll put up a link. Aquatech. Did I say hi to you, Aquatech? I don't remember if I did. And good to see you tonight, TNT. Yeah. Yeah, let us know, TNT. Everyone's saying hi to her. Can I come up? The authorities definitely know about it. APS definitely know about it, but I don't know if anyone knows who. Well, my son ate my donuts. That's what you heard about? Hold on a second. Yeah. Um, or they are they THC infused donuts? I hope not. Um, when I was at the weed store, they have everything now. They have canned drinks with THC in it. They have popcorn with THC. They got pretzels with THC. They got everything infused with THC. Oh man, not the donuts. Yeah. Well, um, they weren't. Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, very cute little baby. Yeah. TNT, are you serious about coming up, or were you just kidding? Uh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird, and all these drinks and everything. I tell you, one time I had some chocolate infused THC infused. It was a chocolate bar, and my friend said, "Hey," she said she got this chocolate bar from somebody from Colorado, right? Somebody out in Colorado. She said, "I had a piece, and it's just too strong. Do you want it?" And I said, "Yeah, bring it over. I'll take it." And so she brings it over. Ouch. And she brought it over. Oh, you little shit. Hold on a second. Gotta get these kittens out of here. You guys haven't had enough. Oh, yeah. Gotta go. That's ridiculous. They screwed up my computer. Anyway, so I said, yeah, bring them over. I'll take them. And so anyway, I one day I thought, oh, I was here in the evening. I didn't really want to take them during the daytime. So I tried them. I tried a little piece of chocolate. And I was sitting here doing some work, and then I went to get up, and like she said, it felt like the floor was moving. Like the floor was moving. It was like trippy, and I mean, I'm thinking, dang, these things are strong. And I like grabbed onto the chair and thinking, okay, this is like not good. I mean, I don't like being too high, not at all, at all. And man, those are really strong. So it kind of made me not want them anymore. So I still have ouch. So I still have the rest of the chocolate bar. Because yeah, I don't even want to take that. Now, legs are all wobbly, and I'm thinking, what if I pass out? At least I know now because of Jane. I know that my dogs won't eat me when we're waiting for help. That was a myth, you guys. The pets don't actually eat. Pets don't eat the owners after the owner dies. Okay, because we've heard the horror stories that somebody dies in their house and nobody knows, and the pets end up eating the person, their owner. No, that doesn't happen. Jane said that they've seen people that have been like somebody that died in the house and the dog was scratching the leg trying to make it get up or something. But she said that the only ones that get eaten after they die are like homeless people or people outside that die outside. Wild animals will eat you, but your pets won't. They might scratch you because they're trying to wake you up, but they ain't going to eat you. So that's good. That's a relief. If I die out here, what? They're gonna have to get into the food bucket or something, because yeah. At least I know they won't be eating my face off. So that was good. That's a relief. Let's see, hold on a second. Hold on, you guys. The cats knocked me off the internet. I gotta get back on. Little stinkers. These little kittens, man, they're little terrorists. They still like could fit in, well, bigger than my hand now, but yeah. They're cute as can be. Let's see. They weren't. I had more to say because I'm hurt, and it's not just about drones. People do things and don't care what effect is on others. Still, little YouTube. TNT, so sorry, I understand. Yeah, no, totally understand. I mean, if you want TNT, I could put a link up for you. If you want to come up. I would have to authenticate your account. All right, huh? Oh, you little shit. Come on, guys. Grace says, sorry, TNT didn't mean to poke funny. I thought you were joking at first. Yeah, I thought you were kidding too. I think Gene Hackman and his wife died. One dog died, the other was alive for weeks. Yeah. So tell me, Kathy, why would I have made this soul contract where I'm always suffering? Well, you're not supposed to be suffering, that's for sure. So it depends really what you're talking about. But when we come down here to make a soul contract to come down here, we have certain lessons that we want to learn to grow our souls and to expand our souls and our knowledge and everything that we can only get through human experience. And so so if you want to learn how to be independence and all that, you're born with a family who kind of abandons you, right? If you want to learn how to cope different ways or whatever, so the more times you come and reincarnate, the harder and harder and harder your time is, right? It's like school. You start out in kindergarten. Each time you incarnate, the lessons get harder and harder until you're all the way college level. And so you're down here to learn these things. And so you put things in place before you get here. Some people are orphaned at birth, right? They don't even have a family. So they learn how to depend on themselves, stuff like that. So sometimes I feel the life lessons, and life lessons always hurt, you guys. I don't care. You're not going to get a life lesson walking in the park with a new pair of shoes, okay? You're going to get life lessons hurt. And the more it hurts, the bigger the lesson. And if you think back at all the lessons you've learned, there was some pain involved, right? And so, yeah, we're not here to suffer per se, but we are here to learn some painful lessons because, yeah. Yeah. I had a case once. I figured out time the suspects entered the home because the victim's dog got out when the door was open. It was on cameras in the neighborhood before being hit next street over. Oh, that's the thing with cameras, man. People aren't getting away with too much anymore. Hey, you're always on a camera, especially in the cities. If you want to get out, ask Jesus is the door. He said that, not me. Yes. He said, knock and it'll open. Yep, knock and it shall open. I always put good out in this world, but I don't get it in return. TNT, I sometimes feel the same way. It seems like I put out good all the time and I get shit on one after the next. Ouch! Oh, you little dirt! Stop it. This got me. jumped on my back with like fish hooks. Yeah, except for Miss January. Yes, she's good. Um, well, that's kind of how I feel like that a lot too, TNT. Um, yeah, I feel like that too. Okay, but here I'm going to tell you something. Okay, here's the way I take it. So when you do good to somebody, and I just went through this. I just went through this. When I do good for somebody, and then they shit on me, right? Now I have two choices because it's all about how you react. When things happen to you, that's only half the equation. The other half of the equation is how are you going to react and what are you going to learn from it? So I had a choice. My friend wanted to go stab somebody's tires, give them flat tires on their vehicle, beat their ass until she goes to jail, and all this stuff. And I said, no, I don't want to do that because I don't want to go to jail. And I don't want her to go to jail. So no, I said, listen, I gotta just chill. All right. And you know what? So I could do that. I could revenge and all that stuff, but guess what? That's buying my own bad karma. Okay. So if somebody does me wrong, karma in the universe, God in the universe, all the heavens above are watching everything and they're keeping score. And that person who does me wrong, they're going to pay that person back. It's karma, whatever you want to call it. That person is already going to get paid back. I don't have to. Karma is amazing too. They come up with stuff you could never even think of on your own. It's like, dang, you see what happened to that person? Dang, that was way better than anything I could have done to him. You know what I mean? But so when I don't react and I take the high road, I don't buy the bad karma. So if I had gone and stabbed the guy's tires and let my friend beat up this person, then I would have had bad karma. All right. Now either way, they're going to be taken care of. Okay. They're going to get their punishment. They're going to get, I don't even want to call it punishment. You're getting back what you put out. So they're going to already get back what they're putting out. I don't have to. And the thing is, we always think, man, they get away with everything. No matter what they do, they get away with it. Well, no, actually they don't. Just because you don't see the karma, you don't know. For all you know, that person that screwed you over might have terminal cancer. They might lose everything. It might destroy their family. You know what I mean? So you might not see the bad things happen, but they are, and they're going to get theirs. Okay. Now, if I try revenge, then I just opened up a case of bad karma for myself. All right. And it also means I don't trust the universe and God that they're going to take care of it. But they're going to take care of him no matter what. So why would I open up a case of bad karma on myself? You know what I mean? I trust that things are going to, bad people get paid back. Whatever they're putting out, right? So if somebody in here, I'm going to tell you an example. I think I told you an example before. So there's these people. I told you this story. There's this guy on YouTube, and his name is Brian Fritz, and he was what was his channel name? Something like Network 126 or something. He's homeless, right? Living in California somewhere, Los Angeles or something. Homeless, and all these people were tormenting him. You know what I mean? I mean, the guy was already homeless. He was living in a broke down RV that they had to keep towing from place to place, spot to spot, or they would get it, impounded. So it was like he was working. And the people were finding his trailer. They threw a rock through his trailer. It was on a video. He had security cameras. They threw broke the glass on the RV. They were tormenting this guy. Well, guess what? Fast forward a year or two. Now one of the guys doing that, and now he's homeless. He's been in a homeless shelter. Now he's begging for money. Now he's digging through trash cans. Dude, that is textbook karma. You made this man's life miserable. I mean, he was already on the down as you can be, living in and with his cat too, his cat, and tormenting him, tormenting his cat, and with a nice place, safe place for them to sleep. They're the head every night, lay their head. So eventually, one of those people I know for sure, now he's on YouTube doing the same thing Brian did. He's begging, you guys, you got any money? I'm in the shelter and I'm eating out of trash cans and I ain't got nothing to eat. Dude, that's exactly, he's turned into Brian. I mean, and so, yeah, just be patient. These people will get back what they're putting out. It might take a day, a week, a month, a year, but they'll get it back, whether you see it or not. So it's not up to us to do any revenge or anything like that, which is why I don't. No, if somebody does something to threaten me, yeah, I'll go to the police. That's not revenge. That's just being smart. Yeah. You feel the life lessons. Yeah. So then I always say, okay, I'm not doing that again. And then later I'd be like, okay, I'm not doing that. Here, like when I do sales and stuff, when I was learning how to do business and stuff, I was getting ripped off left and right. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to do that again. And then I had a joke with myself. Okay, I'm not going to do that or that again. I'm not going to do that, or that again. And then it was, I'm not going to do that, or that again. This is like I kept learning lesson after lesson after lesson. Now, try to rip me off. Try it. I say, I dare you. Try to buy something and rip me off because it will never work again. Okay. I had enough lessons of that. I got screwed over enough times. It's not going to work anymore, right? And it's just like this stalking stuff. Okay, I already had enough lessons in my past where people got away with it. Well, believe me, they got their karma. But no, okay, but I've learned. Okay, so I'm nobody's getting away with that again. I'm not falling for that again. So yeah, your soul contract is to set you up into positions where you're going to have those lessons, and those lessons can be hard, right? So you say, well, why would somebody want to be born with no legs and no arms? Well, they're in the super advanced courses, okay? You start out easy. When you first start here, I'll tell you, like when your soul first starts incarnating into Earth, the baby souls, the ones that are here, their first few trips are the selfish ones. They're learning basic lessons, like try to love your neighbor. I mean, basic stuff. And I'm going to tell you, when you get up to the advanced levels in these human experiences, the advanced levels is you're trying to learn how to love yourself, because it's easy to love other people, for me anyway. But to love yourself and put yourself, just as much as anybody else, those are more advanced lessons. But first, humans, their souls come and reincarnate and try to learn how to basic number one, try to learn how to love other people. I can do that. Okay, that's easy for me. I do love people. I love everybody. I see a soul in everybody, right? But you always want to put other people first. And anyway, so yeah, each time you come and reincarnate, your lessons are more difficult each time. And so, like I'll tell you, so like a new soul, we can go over this sometime, but a new soul will be a selfish person. They will be, probably not even able to love other people, just selfish. And selfish never means self-love. Okay. And a narcissist, you say, well, narcissists love themselves. No, actually it's opposite. Narcissists hate themselves. And that's why they put everybody down, because they do hate themselves. And so it's opposite than it looks. If you want to get out, yep, I always put good out in the world, get nothing back. Right. And it's how you react to that. It's how you react to that. Is your motive it's your motive that matters, was your heart, right? So don't worry. Yep. That's right, tie-dye Gammy. Yeah. I got the membership from Miss January. Did you really? Thank you, Miss January. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. I think it was my last live stream or the one before. Yes, thank you, Miss January. That was nice. But Kathy, are they? Because my entire life I've got the bad. Uh, are they facing? Yeah, they're facing karma. Believe me, whether you see it or not. Yeah, took a Louisville Slugger to both headlights. Carved my name into his leather seats. I would have been with you back when my 20s. Okay, I probably would have joined you. I would have brought my own Louisville. And yeah, yeah, carved his name in leather seats. Funny. And the whole thing is just supposed to learn and grow as you get older, right? Some people are arrested development. I feel your pain for real. I don't know anything about the Bible, Jesus, God, but I always believed. Around 2020, I was in the dumps bad, and I always felt like nothing went my way. Well, I prayed and prayed, and my life got better. Talk to him. It's not an instant thing, but it gets better. Well, right, because and you have to speak out loud. I'm telling you, speak out loud and what your intentions are, okay? Because I mean, you have to speak out your intentions out loud. It's one of the rules that they live by, okay? Um, yeah, speak your intentions out loud, what you want. Speak it into existence. My ex was reckless. I separated from him and always prayed if he did something stupid, other people would not be hurt and no women or child would find him. He did something reckless on his motorcycle. Uh-oh. Yes, textbook karma. These people were after Brian's cat as well. Karma knows who. Yep, yep. And then there's somebody else. Now, I don't know if anybody knows. There's another guy goes by the name Rebel, but now Rebel for years has been like when he gets mad at people, and he's got a channel. He's got a couple channels. But for a long time, when he gets mad at people, he would wish cancer on them. I wish you had cancer. I hope you get cancer and die. I hope your mom gets cancer. I hope your family gets cancer. He wished, and I would just cringe. I'm like, oh, goodness. Why is he saying that? Don't say that. Guess what? Well, he's in his 30s, late 30s, lives with his mom his whole life. You know, never had a job, never not just kind of leached off his mother. Well, his mother got cancer last year. And she just died like 2 weeks ago. And people are saying, yeah, you know, now he's asking for money, asking for help. And he burned his bridge with everybody. And now they're saying, hey, you remember, you used to tell everybody to die from cancer and told everybody that you wish their family and their mom would die from cancer. Now, how does it feel? I'll get another time. Textbook case. Take a case of karma. You wish people to die of cancer. It's horrible. But I just would cringe when he was saying that. I'm like, oh my gosh, either him or his mom's gonna get it. He's wishing everybody that they would die and their mom. And yeah, sure enough, his mom got pancreatic cancer. She actually lasted longer than I thought. It's usually pretty fatal, pretty quick. My grandma had it actually. It's painful too. Horrible way to go. And yeah, his mom got cancer and she died. And now people are reminding him, hey, how does it feel? You wanted this for everybody else. Again, textbook karma. Well, don't eat your mom's donuts because that's bullshit. That is true. Well, and it's just a matter of respect and boundaries. You know, if somebody's crossing boundaries, if they're eating your stuff that they know is yours, that's bullshit. And it is bullshit. And it's crossing boundaries. Yeah. Yeah. I get that. And past at the age of 56, now I have a mobile home. He's taking care of me. Not what I wanted, but he made his own karma. Yep. And we mentioned this the other night that they can help you more from when they cross over. Like family members, a lot of times can't help us, right? They really can't help us. Either they don't have the money or they don't have the means or they just don't know how. But once you cross over to the other side, your family members got lots of tools that they didn't have. They have lots of strings to pull. So once your husband passed over to the other side, now he can help you. You know what I mean? A man found him. No one else was hurt. Wow. Love is first. Yep. Yeah. I give until I have nothing. So when my son ate my last tiny donut, I was so hurt. No, I totally get that. Um, yeah, I just gotta tell him that, man. That hurt. Not angry. Wait till you cool down. I mean, you might already said something, but that's okay. Just when you cool down or whatever, just say, "Wow, that hurt. I give you everything, and you ate my last donut." Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, TNT. That really sucks. And you know what? Sometimes when you're nice, people think it's a license to trample all over you. You know what I mean? Well, I can walk over her. She's always nice. She'll never get mad. I know. Been there. You could be getting good things back, but don't recognize them. All the good things will come. That's a good point too, Florida. Um, Sometimes we don't recognize our blessings. You know what I mean? Sometimes we don't even recognize our blessings. Um, yeah. I consider y'all my friends. Yeah, I consider you too a friend, TNT. I consider all you guys friends. And believe me, I'm not going to try to find out where any of you live or what your name is or what you've done wrong. You know, not at all. Um, no, I've been studying Carl Jung's individualization, doing a shadow work behind it. Doing the shadow work behind it has helped a lot. It's easy because it takes facing oneself, which usually becomes so adept at ignoring. Yeah, yep. Carl Jung is really good. You know, people do maybe need to study to turn inside and just think, okay, if this happens again, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? And how did I have a part of it? And if I didn't have a part of it, how can I learn from it and stop it from happening again? I always tell younger kids to grow old but healthier than me. I never say, yeah. My mom had pancreatic cancer before Michael Landon and died 2 weeks shy of a year. Tough year. Oh, you know what? That's about how long this rebel's mom lasted. I think they only gave her a few months, but um, yeah, she lasted about 1 year. Well, Kathy, my husband, father passed in 2018. I wonder if they've helped with anything from behind the scenes. In 2018, huh? That wasn't that long ago. 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, it's 8 years already. I'm sorry to hear that, TNT. Um, yeah, it does seem fair, huh? Your name is Ty? Okay, Ty. We're glad to know your name. Oh, just kind of next is tie-dye gammy. All right, Ty. Yeah, if you want to talk, Ty, I'll give you a link. If you want to talk in private, you can email me. But I totally understand it. I've been through hell. I've been widowed. You know, it for me, it went from the best day in my life to the worst day in my life, and I don't know, within a week. Best day in my life was when me and my husband bought our first house together. A week later, he got diagnosed with terminal cancer. So it was like the best day of my life and the worst day of my life within like 1 week. And it just seems like so unfair. And I'm like, I knew this was too good to be true. You know what I mean? anytime something good happens, I get ripped out from under me. And I think, no, I can't think of that. I gotta think of it as these hard life lessons. Well, hey, say it out loud. Hey, 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 party people. Good to see you. Welcome. I raised our son all alone. Yeah. I know that's how hard that is. I raised my kids after my divorce. My kids were, I think, 8 and maybe 9 and 12 when I got divorced. So yeah, from 9 and 12, I raised them. And yeah, that's hard. That is hard. It's hard. They do grow up fast. Hopefully he'll grow up to help you. You know what I mean? Hopefully he'll be your rock and your helper someday. But yeah, it's lonely too. It's lonely because it seems like you know what it seems like? Seems like everybody's got it so easy. Why do I have to frickin' always have problems? Try to be nice, try to do the right thing, and try to be good, and I get shit on. And I just gotta say, all right, I can't think like that. You know what I mean? After 2 months, it was any day we had hospice at home. Wow. Yeah. After 12 months, yeah, I had hospice to it. I'm telling you, hospice, I'll think twice next time. Say it out loud. It says, my name is Sarah. Well, hi, Sarah. We have a couple Sarahs, huh? Well, I hope I remember that. Say it out loud. Good to meet you, Sarah. Um, hi, say Sarah. I raised my kids mostly by myself the whole life, even though we were married 17. That's how long my marriage lasts, 17 years. Yep. Yeah. Well, that's how long we were together. I think we were married 16, but we were together a little more than 17 or something. Yeah, by the time we got divorced, my kids were, before I officially got divorced, I think my kids were like 11 and 14, I think, like when I officially got divorced. Sarah has that new grandbaby. Which which Sarah has a new grandbaby? After 2 months, she was stubborn. It lasted 12 months. That's why I got your stubborn, yeah, your stubbornness. Uh, yeah. Yeah, pancreatic cancer is really hard. It's because it can get real painful. And then besides the pancreas, and the pancreas is what produces insulin, right? So if you're like, you can get diabetes, you can get, I don't know, your pancreas throws your insulin off, and your liver for that matter. People can get real jaundice and yellow from the liver failing, and then also, there's tumors and stuff, and can metastasize to other organs and stuff, and close off your your intestines and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would think twice about the conventional treatments too. That's for sure. I learned a lot from when he got sick um, about these treatments. You know what I mean? Because I seen one time, I seen somebody say, and it should be a shirt. It should be, instead of saying "I survived cancer," it should be "I survived this. I survived radiation, and I survived chemo," because that's really what you're trying to survive. My fiance committed that just 3 feet from me in my house. My two sons are in bed. Are you kidding, Alicia? Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Wow, that is traumatic. That is traumatic. Well, gosh, I am so sorry. Um, I guess the only bright side is your sons weren't there to see it, but I'm sure they were woken up and have bad memories from that. That's why your husband died too? Really? Gosh, I'm so sorry, TNT. He was an alcoholic. Yeah. Alcoholics are hard to deal with, man. They're really because no, there's some people who are alcoholics that are fine, you know what I mean? Like, and there's a lot of people who drink and it's not a problem. Like there's a lot of guys who come home from work and have a few beers every night. So what? But it's when the alcoholism gets so bad that your life is destroyed and you destroyed everybody around you and you're angry and mean and all that and making your family's life hell. That's another thing. But yeah, some people can drink and some people can't. But yeah, I'm so sorry about that. It's terrible. Hmm. And that means that that was the end of their story. Because really, when you come here, it's your story. You know what I mean? You walk a path, you you walk your life path, and you're here for a certain amount of years. You already know how long you're going to be here, and so if you believe that, hey, your husband came down, he was going to live about 40 years. He decided before he came, I'm going to check out at about 40 years because it's just like going to school. If you're going to go to college and you say, okay, I'm going to go 3 years to college. Well, I'm going to do my education. My education's going to be high school, or I'm going to drop out at 8th grade, or I'm going to go to trade school, or I'm going to go to 4 years of college, or I'm going to do a bachelor's degree, 8 years, 12 years of school. So we already know how long our school is down here when we take our courses. And so when we make a soul contract to come down here, we already know I'm going to be about 40. I'm going to be about 50. I'm going to be about 10. Some people only come down and know they're going to check out when they're children. Right? And so if you learn the rules of the universe, you'll say, wow, it all makes sense. Things make much more sense. Things seem a lot more fair than what we're taught. You know what I mean? So had he not checked out that way, I believe he would have checked out a different way. You know, but not only horrible for you, but horrible for those poor kids. Those poor kids, because kids can feel, and the spouse can feel abandoned. Like, dang, you just jumped off and left us on a runaway train. You know, the husband's supposed to be the driver of the train. You know what I mean? And your husband jumps off and leaves you and the kid to go crash. You know what I mean? You can feel like you've been abandoned. But yeah, I believe if you didn't check out that way, it would have been a different way. But yeah, but how traumatic for you and the kids. I feel bad when that happens to people. Yeah, you're right. Ty, again, it's the important thing is to inspire your kids. Yes. Yep. I believe that too. Because now your entire focus is your children. You're not focused on the husband and kids. Now you're 100% focused on the children. You know what I mean? Which can be a good thing. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a bad thing. My baby boy was 2 weeks from starting first grade. Oh no. So he might have that association with the big school year starting with the dad dying. I'm so sorry to hear that. First grade, I don't know. Hopefully when he gets older, he won't remember a whole lot of it. But yeah, I agree with tie-dye Gammy. I would just be a great inspiration to your kid. You know what I mean? He had to drink every hour. He even had to get out of bed. He also took alcohol to work every day. Yeah, that is a pretty bad alcoholic. He's going to be 15 next month. Wow. So it's been like 10 years, huh? Yeah, alcohol. Yeah, that is hard. I've had family members that were alcoholics, and I'm telling you, I can't tolerate it. I can't deal with it. I cannot deal with it. I just can't deal with drunkenness. Maybe that's why I never drink. You know what I mean? I drank in high school, but really nothing after that. I was so turned off from drunk people. I'd say that. I don't want to be like that. And who wants to be out of control? I don't want. I don't want to wake up and in a jail cell. It was always like my fear. What if I got drunk and ended up in a jail cell and they told me I killed somebody last night? You know what I mean? It's just like, wow. So yeah, I don't never want to do anything where I'm not in control of myself. You know what I mean? So that's another reason I didn't like alcohol. I don't want to be out of control. I just don't like it. I don't like the taste of it. I don't like how it feels. Too risky. Um, I raised my kids mostly by myself their whole lives, even though we were married 17 years. Yeah, I'm pretty much same boat. I really didn't notice when he left. Or should I say when I kicked him out and got a restraining order? No, I was just kidding. I did have him leave. I did make him leave. And yeah, it was actually a relief. I'm like, woo, glad he's gone. But yeah, it was, it was me anyway. I was doing all the work anyway, so it was actually kind of a little relief when he left. Yeah. And your kids will, they'll realize it. Yeah. Yeah. Alcohol is rough, man. Yeah, I can't tolerate the drunkenness. And they're repeating stories over and over and over. Like, God, you just tell me that 10 times. And then the next day, they don't even remember talking to you. I'm like, okay. So I just got stressed out with your conversation for 2 hours for nothing. You don't even remember. Yes, my husband wasn't, I guess, super depressed, but I never knew. He just turned 50. Huh. Important thing is inspiring your kid. Yep. Huh. Uh, yeah. Um, yeah. And then also when I was, I don't know, when I was a kid, young, I saw this movie with, what was her name? Susan Blair, the one that was in, The Godfather, excuse me, The Godfather, little girl, Blair, whatever her name was, Linda Blair. So she was in this movie called Sarah, Portrait of a Teenage Alcoholic. This was like back in the 70s or something. But this Sarah, Portrait of a Teenage Alcoholic, this Linda Blair she was really young, and she started drinking, and she became a closet alcoholic as a teenager, right? And then she used to go visit somebody's horse and pet the horse and brush the horse. And then one time she got really drunk and she went and took the horse out. It was somebody else's horse. And she took the horse and she rode it down the street or something. The horse got hit by a car and the horse died or something. And anyway, that scared me away from alcohol too, because she got the horse killed, you know what I mean? And anyway, I can't remember how I don't remember. I remember the part up to the horse getting killed. I had enough. I don't remember anything after that. I thought, I don't want to kill a horse when I'm drunk. He was 50, 3 days for his 51st, 5 days before Christmas. At 50 though, huh? Wow. 5 days before Christmas, huh? Wow. You've been widowed about the same time I have been. Huh. You know what? They always say around Christmas time is where people get depressed. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that. People take their lives at Christmas time. I don't know why. I think it's just a depressing time of year. Yeah, that's how I felt at the beginning. His health was great. Mine stinks, but I tell my kids I'm the Terminator and I'm never going to give up. If they need me there, I'll be there. That's right. And you got to be their rock, man. And when they get older, they can be your rock. You know what I mean? They can help you. My sons refuse to associate with anyone who drinks or drugs. That's good, Alicia. That is good. That is good. That is good. Yes, Kathy, there. I just lost my spot. Yes, Kathy, there have been days where I'm so angry for him leaving us. Other days I feel so bad he felt he had to do that. Yeah. Oh, I totally get it. Yeah, because it feels like he abandoned you, left you alone with the kid. Said, see ya. Right. But yeah, other times it's just like, it's just sad that because he's missing out. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can see both. That is good. Alicia, my husband, had just turned 50. Wow, I wonder if that's, they say men go into a midlife crisis when they're 50. They try to get a red sports car and stuff. Yeah. I'm very angry and I survivor guilt. Yeah. Yeah. I bet she can relate. I bet you can relate, TNT. Because that's what you just said. TNT just said the same thing. Angry, but also survivor guilt. Yeah. Hello, Kathy. I did have a number of restraining orders. Yeah. Call it the restraining order years. Me too. Days different on how I feel. Yeah. I suggest not to dwell on it. Now, I suggest even personally, I would probably contact him and see if he can help you. You know, my best friend from high school died all alone in his house. His wife left him, and she was the one found him in the house decomposing. And I'm still heartbroken. Yeah, that's sad. Hugs and Nazarene, did this just happen? Yeah, that's terrible. Um, yeah, I knew a guy that died and rotted right through the bed onto the floor. Yeah. Nobody found him for a long time. He was in a camper living in the back of somebody's yard. And I think they noticed flies or something. I can't remember. They noticed he wasn't around or something. Burning a little fire while listening. I love it. Oh, you got a little fire? A little campfire? Yeah, I'm going to have a big bonfire. I got a lot of stuff I got to burn, a lot of brush. Last year I did a lot of tree trimming and I put all the brush back there. So I'm going to have a big bonfire one of these nights. Hey, we should have a bonfire. I'll start it about sundown. Have a big bonfire live stream. I love little fires and big fires, whatever. I love little fire pit fires. That's the good thing about summer. Until I get it, my 31-year-old autistic and my second son is 26 and is a Marine. Oh, crazy fact, in our area, the Mennonites ride buggies home drunk. The horses don't know the stop signs. Oh, the Mennonites are the one with they're gray buggies, right? The Amish had the black buggies, and the gray buggies are the Mennonites. And Mennonites, their rules are a little looser than the Amish, if I get it right. But yeah, if you see a gray Amish buggy, that's a Mennonite. Yeah, we had some I never seen the Amish drunk because I know the ones on a certain compound. I know most of them and but they got hit by a car on the way home by a kid who just got his license. He was 16 and he hit the horse and hit the buggy and the horse. The mom, the dad and the two kids were in the buggy. It was alongside a highway, a 2-lane highway. And the kid just got his license, hits the horse in the buggy. They all get hurt. They get brought to the hospital, and Amish don't have any insurance. And this community here all chipped in and paid their hospital bills, and they're all doing okay. Everybody lived. Everybody's fine. But yeah, the kid with his license, I don't know what the hell he did, but he ran him over. Ladies, you sound very strong to me. TNT, I'm confident you're raising a fine young man. Me too. Yes, you ladies are strong. You are strong. You're survivors. Yeah. Or motorcycles. I had my excuse me, dumb thing. I had to send my sons with their dad. I cleaned up that night, patched a hole in the wall, and hung a picture over it so the kids wouldn't know. Did you hide it from the kids? Wow, good for you. Because that's something really hard to hide. So imagine the strength it took to do that. Alicia, you are TNT, and Alicia, you guys are strong women because that takes a lot to do that. Yeah, I knew somebody who did that. Our next door neighbor, back when I was married, my first marriage, we were living in a house, and next door were these Russian people, and they came in like 69 or something. They came to America. They couldn't believe the amount of food we had in our grocery stores. But it was a Russian family. We kind of got to know them, and it was the old dad and the mom. And we even bought a weird car from them that I drove to work for a while. It was an Opal, OPAL, little Opal wagon. It was an ugly little thing. Looked like a Flintstone car. But anyway, we got to know the guy. He he got, they spoke okay English, but one of the sons came over. He went to prison. I don't even know what for. And the other son lived there. So it was the mom, the dad were older, and their son who was like in their 30s or something. But the son had a girlfriend, and when they broke up, they broke up. She broke up with him on Valentine's Day, and he did not take it well. And he very calmly he went to Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips. It was a place that we used to have Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips, and he bought 3 meals, one for him, one for his mom, and one for his dad. And they all ate the Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips, and he went down in the basement and offed himself. And and when the police came and everything, they took his body, and they didn't do anything. Now I think is different, but back then they just left, and everything was all over the wall. The whole wall was covered. We saw it, and the parents had to clean that up. But now, because I worked in these, in with the realtors, I worked in all these homes where people have done this to themselves. And now I think it's different. They have this hazmat, these biohazard people come in, because a lot of times I will see like a patch of carpet cut out, but the floor is still stained underneath it. They will usually remove the mattress if they're in the bed when they do it. They'll remove the mattress. They come like in protective gear with this full suit on and the gloves, and they go in there and they take anything covered with blood, and they do that now. But back then they didn't do that. Back in the 80s. And I just thought, oh my God, the parents got to clean that up. Anyway, yeah. But I think things are a little different now. I'm not sure. The houses I've been in, yeah. In fact, I even put up a video of me and my son. My son used to go with me on some of these jobs. My son's in his 40s, and he's a big guy, and so to get extra money, he would go with me on some of these jobs. And there's a video up right now of me and him walking through a house with a guy offed himself in the bed. And, yeah, that's why I said, you notice the top mattress missing? And he goes, oh, or whatever he said. Uh-huh. Yeah. It's sad, but believe me, they're in a better place. Listen, they're in a better place. The people cross over. Don't matter if they take their life or if something happens. You all cross over. You're all in a better place. Nobody's burning in hell, okay? That's a fact. And I can prove that with the Bible itself. But how that just doesn't make any sense. It's actually a pagan thing. But they're in a better place, and they're in a place that they can help you. And so you're the one that's suffering, not them. Right? They're fine. Yeah. Yeah. And the same with the hole in the wall. They had a hole in the wall too. They had a bullet hole in the wall too. Yeah. Thank you. I hope so. Everyone tells me he is amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. You're the one that's going to make him amazing. You know, when you raise your kids. They're 11, 16, now they're 31, 26. Wow. Well, I hope they're not really affected too bad from it. We had a ceremony today at the Veterans Cemetery for my father-in-law today. The honor guard was there to do a flag folding, and the soldier's phone kept ringing in his pocket the whole time. Wow. You're kidding. That was, yeah, I don't know if they're supposed to do that. Yeah, usually they do the 21 gun salute. So it's first, there's 4 men. Usually, I think there's 4 men when you do a military funeral. Because my family, I have military in my family. You know, my daughter's been married to an army sniper from, I don't know, 20 years or something now. Probably more. But I got a lot of family members that are veterans. So I've been to these veterans at Fort Snelling Cemetery is where we have them. And they do the 21 gun salute, and so there's 4 guys, and they do 1 shot, and then 7 shots, and then 7, and then 6. So it's 1 shot, 7 shots, 7 shots, 6, 17, 76. That's 21. So yeah, you get 1 gunfire, then 7 gunfires, then 7 gunfires, and 6 gunfires. There's your 21 gun salute. I don't remember how many men are standing there, but yeah, that's how that goes. Horses can't read. Mr. Ed might have been able to. Yeah, horses can't read. Grace, thank you. I think we all just do what we have to do for our kids, right? Yep, just get through it. Pretty soon they're on their own. I don't know exact date because he was decomposed in the house, but the memorial service was 2 Fridays ago. I really miss him. Oh, that was that recent? Wow, Nazreen. Well, his body's gone, but his spirit isn't. But I'm sorry for your loss, Nazreen. That is rough. That is rough. And I think I don't know if they estimate the day that they're in that case if they're decomposing. So I don't know if they actually Jane might be able to tell you. I think they either guess or they say the date on the day that they find them. I can't remember. In fact, Jane said that when she was in the morgue, when she worked at the medical examiner's office, the people would come in, right? And her job was to put the toe tags on them or get the toe tags and collect their belongings or something like that. But she said in the property room, there was phones ringing, tons of phones ringing from these dead people. And that's the families trying to get a hold of them. Where are you? Where are you? So she said that was eerie that, you could hear all these telephones of these dead people ringing. I never even thought of that. You know what I mean? Alicia's so sad. You get survivor benefits, right? Yeah, that's so hard. I'm not sure. Sarah, it's a little embarrassing. TNT, no, weren't married. Not his son. Yeah. Yeah. The last time I spoke to him was May 22nd, and I didn't hear from him again. Huh. Wow. So it could have been any time, huh? You do what you have to. That's right. You do what you have to. You know what? Just get through today. People are overwhelmed sometimes. Listen, always just get through today. All right. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about last week. Just get through today. Do what you got to get through today. Mennonites built a barn style home for my sis, or built a barn style home for my sis, BIL, when they lost their home, or brother-in-law, your sister and brother-in-law, when they lost a home in 4 outbuildings a couple years ago in a tornado. It's how I knew Eric was FOS from jump. That's who he should have went to. Yeah. Yeah. He was full of shit. He was just trying to buy time to dip out because he wanted Timmy. And if he can't have Timmy himself, he'd probably want to dip out. I don't even know what his deal was. Please hung a blanket over the doorway to the room. Kids took kids straight from beds out the front door. I had to buy them new shoes because they were in that room. Oh no. So I'm glad that they were shielded from as much as possible though. My husband put himself into a sleeping bag. Did he really? That is interesting. That's actually kind of considered, actually, you know what I mean? If you're going to, because I know it seems really selfish when people take their lives, but sometimes they'll do something, sometimes they'll do something, a gesture that, you know, that's not selfish. I don't know if that makes sense. TNT, I feel for you sending hugs. Yes, I'm so sorry, TNT. Hell is a fallacy. Yes, it is. It's actually a because hell didn't even come up in the Bible until after the Old Testament. There was no such thing in the Old Testament. And then about, I'd say 500 BC, about when the Romans took over Israel and Jerusalem, the Romans occupied it. It's the Romans, you know what I mean? And so their religion went all over the place, all their pagan religions, and they were the ones that spread the word about the devil, Diablo, or whatever. And he's actually Pan, the goat god. And Pan, the goat god, has got his sex and nature and all this other stuff. So if you look up Pan, the goat god, first of all, warning, they could be very Pan has a very large penis. Okay. I mean, gigantic. All right. Yeah, I know. I'm not telling about the. I know. My dog says, what? Yeah. Just don't listen. Okay. So Pan has a very large penis. So when you look up his picture, watch out. And sometimes he actually has sex with goats. But so if you look up Pan, the goat god, that's who the devil is. He's got horns. He's part goat, part human. So he's a goat god, and he's got hoofs. He's got horns. He's got a tail, and that's where your devil came from. And the hell and all that. That's to scare you, so you keep going to the church and give them a tenth of your money. Yeah. I just lost my spot. Let me find. Yeah, Alicia, I'm sending tons of hugs for you. Thank you, TNT. Yeah, hugs from all of us, because really, that's heartbreaking. I feel sorry for the survivors. No, I don't really feel sorry for the person that takes their life, because they're gone. They're in a better place. And I tell you, when you take your life, so what from I've heard from people who contact the other side is when you take your life, no, you don't go to hell. When you take your life, you are instantly put into the arms and comforted. And you actually, there's actually a time like what would they call it? Not decompressing, but what do they call it in the military? I can't remember the word for it, but you're actually, they're actually comforted on the other side. So it's opposite what you hear in the church. And the church won't really come. You know what? The church won't come out and say anything on a clear cut because there's nothing in there. There's nowhere in the Bible that says you're going to go to hell for taking your life. There's just not there. Not there. In fact, there's a lot of people in the Bible who do take their life. And there's a lot of Jewish people who took their life in Masada when the Romans completely tore up, destroyed the temple, and completely obliterated Israel in 70 AD after the 3-year war of taxes. They completely destroyed Israel, and people had to flee for their lives. And so some of the people, some of the Jewish people went, and non-Jewish people, but they ran out to this place called Masada. And you can look this up. If you go over to Israel, they got tours and you can get up to Masada. But Masada was this place where King Herod had his hideout. It was on top of this big giant mountainous rock, right? And on top there was like this self-contained living area where a whole bunch of people you could grow food. They had these bathtubs that were like out on the cliff, and they would bathe and collect water, and it was just like a self-contained little thing that King Herod had, right? But King Herod had abandoned it, and so they knew that was there. So these Jewish people, when Jerusalem was being destroyed, they got all the Jewish people that left that weren't killed were exiled. And so they ran to this place to get away from the Romans. And the Romans, they weren't so happy. So the Romans tracked them down, and they couldn't get up there, right? Because they had a Roman military. They got thousands of people in their army, and they had to build a rampart. So they worked every single day and made a ramp, right? So they built and built and built and built thousands of Romans, and they eventually got up to these people. And by the time they got up there, everybody had taken their own lives, because in the Bible, it's better to die with an honorable death than to have somebody else kill you and then do God knows what with the women and children, right? So they all took their own life. So there's many times where people in the Bible took their own life. In fact, one guy, this is one of the Jewish, it's one of the stories in the Bible, is that one guy, he got, I can't remember if he got stabbed or hit in the head, but anyway, some woman like mortally wounded him, right? And the guy is dying, and he tells his and he's in charge, of this soldier, and he tells the soldier to off me, right? To kill me, because that way I won't. It was dishonorable to be killed by a woman. So he knows he's dying, and he tells his subordinate there to just finish him off, because he doesn't want to. It would be dishonorable to die from a woman's hand. So and there's another one where they say fall on your own sword. They did do that. They would actually have the sword, and they would fall them right on their heart. So there's a lot of people taking their lives in the Bible. Not once did they say you're going to burn in hell or anything. So there's that. So ask if the pastor says that. Tell me, chapter and verse, please. Can you tell me, point me to that? What page is that on? Because there ain't there. There's actually a YouTube channel of crime scene cleaning on YouTube. Obviously, bodies aren't shown, but they clean it all. The families still clean their own. They can't. Yeah. It is very expensive for them hazmat people to come in. Not hazmat, but they have private companies that do it. And it is very expensive. Kathy, honestly, is it really lifetime? Absolutely, because your soul came here. Your soul came here. Your soul will never die. So your soul comes here, comes into a human form. You get into a human body. You experience this. You learn your lessons, and then when you're done with your time, your body leaves the soul and goes back to where it comes. Yes, your soul. Nobody's soul dies. At least what was said to them. I forget the name of the channel. I only missed one day of work, had to pay bills, and was only working part-time. Yeah, I get it, Alicia. And you know what? Sometimes it is it's as hard as that is and how much it sucks, it's kind of almost good for people, though, to get busy, get that shit off their mind. Because at work, you really don't have time to think about it. My niece was in the Navy, and she did the flag folding at ceremonies. Really? Yeah. That's quite an honor. Yes, it is. Yes, and she poured all herself into honor, and that's really nice tie-dye. Never knew the salute was done that way. Yeah, it's a 21 gun salute. Kathy, is the turnover time for souls longer for bad sin? Nope, it's not. No, no, because you don't really come back for, I don't know, they don't really have time there, but our time it'd be like 100 years. If you even want to come back, you don't have to come back. If you want to learn more, you go back. And so usually by the time you come back, there's nobody on earth that you even knew anymore. You know. Now pets can come back faster. A pet can come back twice in your lifetime or 3 times or whatever. Yeah, your pet can come back as somebody else, another pet, you know what I mean? Because sometimes there'll be a cat like, dang, you're just like that cat I had when I was a kid or something. And there is a joke that when someone passes, that someone appointed to text everyone from the person's phone who passed. There's a joke when someone passes that someone is appointed to text everyone. I don't know if that's true. At the service. Huh. I know someone who did that tie-dye. Yeah. Grace, I think it's hysterical. I tell my kids, I lost my spot. Hold on a second. I tell my kids if the beep stops, unplug me and plug me back in. See if it, yeah, just tell them to reset the machine. I have a friend who's a computer guy. You went to Masada? Did you really? Oh my gosh. So you not only know what I'm talking about, but you've been there? Oh my goodness. I walked down that trail. It was scary. Yeah, so you can walk up and walk down, or you can pay. Isn't there like a trolley or some shit, something on a cable or something? You can pay. You can pay to go up and you can pay to go down, I think, or you can walk it. You walk down? Wow, you went there? That's amazing. I would love to go there. I think we are forgiven. Yes, you are. I also think some people do the permanent thing themselves because their soul is subconscious. Somehow knows the natural way to go would be worse. You know, that is true. It could be traumatic. At least it's quick, you know what I mean? I'd rather go quick probably than a long lingering death. I don't know. 1990. Really? You went in 1990? During scuba missiles being shot, or Scud missiles. Yeah, and that's the thing, you guys. If you go over to Israel, so I know somebody who was there. He does videos. He's a pastor, and he does these group. He does these group things. You can go over. You know, you can do a group trip with him. But he said when they were in the Garden of Gethsemane that there was Scud missiles being shot and they were blowing up and stuff. One went off not far from. Yes, that's what he said. He was, he wasn't even in Masada. He was in Jerusalem, right there at the Garden of Gethsemane. Right, and he said, yeah, there was missiles going off over their head, and they're just like, like jump a little bit and then keep reading. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I guess that's kind of normal over there to have bombs going off and stuff. I mean, usually the tourists are safe. You know what I mean? You were in Jerusalem. Yeah, that's where it happens. Yeah, there's nothing out in Masada. Masada's out in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, in Jerusalem. Yeah, if you're in Jerusalem, you will hear the missiles go off, bombs, gunfire. Yeah, you'll hear it. And some people get used to it and some don't. And as a matter of fact, in Jerusalem, I know the rabbi. I know a few rabbis, and that one of them that lives there says that if you live there, all your windows have shutters on them, right? And so when they do those air raids, then they'll do an air raid siren. The incoming bombs, people will take their shutters. They're like bulletproof and bomb-proof, so they shut all the shutters in their house, and as the bombs go off. So yeah, that's a thing over there. Yeah, you'll see it. You'll see. You can probably even look on YouTube. People closing their shutters in Jerusalem when the bombs go off. Yeah, so people have these things and they just reach out and shut the shutters. They're like bomb proofing your windows. Yeah, and that's a regular thing. That's weird. Yeah. Well, that's cool that you went over there. Hmm. Bethlehem was scary. It's in Muslim territory, and we had all nationalities, including Jewish, in our group. Yeah, that is scary. Bethlehem, it's I think Bethlehem means house of bread or something. That's supposedly where Jesus was born, but it's out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, that's far. I think it's about, wait, isn't it like 60 miles or something from Jerusalem? But Bethlehem is out there. It's out. Yeah, this is a mess. Yeah, you left late. Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of a way. And if I remember, I think it's like a day's walk, I think. Can't remember how long it took to, because, yeah, there's stories in there where they're walking, and I think it's, if I had to guess, I don't know, without looking, I'd say 60 miles, but it's a ways outside of Jerusalem. But yeah, it's out there. And there's not really much in Bethlehem. It used to be, they called it a two-horse town. I mean, not just nothing there. Yeah. Guards with machine guns, really. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather just watch it on YouTube. Um, no, Jerusalem would be all right. I don't know. Because I know all this. I've studied all that, and I know every site over there. And so, yeah, I think Masada would be fun, but yeah, I can look at pictures. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I know all them places over there. Yeah, I'd probably want to go to Garden of Gethsemane. I'd probably, of course, go to the Dome of the Rock and the triumphant entry. That's, you probably know, you've been on the tours, the triumphal entry, and probably a few other places. Yeah, yeah, I don't know, rough crowd over there. Because I hear these horror stories. Right now, there's a TikToker. There's this girl on TikTok, and she met this guy in Dubai, right? And she goes over and meets the guy, and she's, they become boyfriend and girlfriend, and she goes over. The first visit goes great, and then she comes back. And this is in Dubai, and she goes back a second trip. The second trip, the guy is kind of being an asshole to her, and he's not there a lot. He leaves her at this place with all these people, strangers she doesn't know. And supposedly he's smacking her around and gives her a black eye. And he takes her passport and says she can't leave. And then she ends up killing the guy, I guess. And now she's facing the firing squad. If she's found guilty. She said it was, they're saying it was premeditated. She's saying it's not. And so, yeah, this girl from America, TikToker, is facing firing squad over in Dubai right now. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Don't go meet somebody. Don't go to these places. Yeah. Cracked me up. They had rock at the bottom of the church, and they said that was exactly where he was born. Well, that's funny. I'm going to tell you, because in the Gospels, there's different accounts of how Jesus was born, right? So in one account, you got Matthew, right? And Matthew and Matthew and Luke are the only two that cover, they call it the nativity. That is the birth of Jesus, right? And so John doesn't cover it, Mark doesn't cover it, but the later, Matthew and Luke cover it. And in Matthew's story, they have to go to, well, actually, so there's two stories. One of them, they have to go because of a tax. They're doing a tax audit, which makes 0 sense. Nobody all has to go back to Bethlehem to do it. It was the census. They were going to do a census. So everybody had to go to their birthplace, which makes no sense. They never did that. So Matthew's story is really made up. Yeah, it's just like when I went to the Black Hills. Every bar that you went into said, "Wild Bill Hickok died on this bar stool sitting right here." So every bar that you went to, that we went to, there was Wild Bill Hickok, a stool where he got shot. Right? You go to the next bar. Here's where Wild Bill Hickok got shot. And the same if you go over there, you're going to see different places where Jesus was born. You're going to see different places where he died, where he's buried, the garden tomb. That's like different locations. So yeah, it's just a tourist scam. I mean, anyway. So one of the stories in Matthew, they go to this place, and the wise men and the shepherds in the field are two different stories. But in the church, when they have a church, when they have like a church Christmas play, they'll combine these two stories into one, which makes no sense. Because in Matthew, they go down there. Well, I'll tell you what Luke is first. Luke's story is that they go there. One of them, they already live in Bethlehem. The other one, that they go to Bethlehem for the census. But either way, they end up in Bethlehem, the house of bread, and then the baby is born, right? And in Luke, the baby is born in a manger because the town is filled with people taking the census. So the hotels were all filled. So they ended up in a stable, and the baby is born, and he's put in a manger, and blah blah blah. And the wise men come from the field, not the wise men, the shepherds come from the field, and they see the baby and all this stuff. And then what happens in Luke is that Joseph and Mary take baby Jesus to the temple. And I think they have to wait 6 days or 7 days or 8 days. There's a certain amount of days. They take him to the temple. They get him circumcised. They get him registered. And then in Luke, they go back home. Right? They go back to where they live. And I can't remember if it was Nazareth or what, but they go back to where they live. But in Matthew, and that's a normal story, right? But in Matthew, it's totally different. In Matthew, they go down to somehow they're in Bethlehem also, and instead of the shepherds in the field, it is the wise men that want to see Jesus, and the wise men are actually the magi. They're magicians and astrologers, right? Which is funny because the church tells you to stay away from astrology, stay away from magicians, but those are the ones that they called wise back there. Yeah, so, and the reason they have two places is because the Gospels tell two different stories. So they don't know which one to show you. But anyway, so in Matthew, they actually live there. They're living in a rented home, okay? So Joseph and Mary are living there. They're renting a place to live, and they have the baby, and then they get word that that King Herod is jealous, and they're going to kill the baby, right? So in the meantime, you've got these wise men who are coming from another part of the country on foot with camels in a like a band of people, right? So this whole group of wise men, which include magicians and astrologers, are following the stars, right? So they're following the stars, and they're trying to wake their mate because they heard that the king is being born, right? Well, then they follow the star, and then they get to Jerusalem, and for some reason their OnStar quits working. So they go to the the king, and they ask the king, "Hey, we heard that there's a king going to be born. Can you tell us, where he is?" And the king said, "Well, I don't know. Who is this king that's going to be born?" They said, "Well, he's going to be the king of Israel." Well, the King Herod got mad and jealous and angry. King Herod sent them. And there was different Herods, right? But this King Herod sent him. Anyway, the king said, "Wait a minute. What king is going to be born?" He didn't like this idea. He's the king. "Oh, king, huh?" He goes, "Well, I tell you what, when you find him, why don't you let me know where he is?" They're like, "Okay, we'll let you know." And then they take off again. And this makes no sense. And then they start following the star again, right? Like, wait a minute. Why did you stop following the star? You had to stop off at Jerusalem to tell King Herod to piss him off. And then they'd follow the star. In the meantime, King Herod sends out people to go kill every male that is under 6 months old, because it took the wise men so long to walk there. They don't even know how old Jesus would be right now. So he said, kill all the males under 6 months old. So they go through and kill all the males. Well, Jesus and Joseph, Mary and Joseph hear about this, and they take off with the baby Jesus, and they go down to Egypt, which is in Africa. And they go into Egypt, and they hide out there like refugees. Then after Herod kills all the babies, which makes no sense because John the Baptist would have been killed, right? Oh, well. Anyway, kills all the babies, which makes no sense because back then the kings had, like Solomon would have like 1,000 different wives, and he'd be impregnating all these women to try to fill that city full of descendants of his own, right? That's what they did. And so if he killed everyone, all the males under 6 months old, he'd be killing a bunch of not only his children, but his relatives and his relatives' children. So it makes no sense. Anyway, so they go back into Egypt. When they see the coast is clear, then they come back. And by the time they left, though, baby Jesus was 2 years old. By the time the wise men showed up, Jesus was a toddler. Right, Jesus was 2 years old by the time them wise men finally walked all the way there. So Jesus is 2 years old, right? So he's not laying in a manger. He's a toddler. He's walking. So when the wise men showed up, Jesus is 2 years old. They hear about Herod, and then they take off as refugees. Yeah, King Herod sent them. And, there was different Herods. Just like back in Egypt, there was different pharaohs. The pharaoh, they were 2 years old and under. Yeah, you're right. Not 6. You're right. Not 6 months old. Yeah, you're right. He said, kill everybody 2 years old and younger. Yeah, you're right. Because Jesus was 2 years old when the wise men showed up. So they didn't give Jesus presents when he's in a manger. Jesus was a toddler. All right. So yeah, the stories are jacked up, you guys. I'm telling you. We go over them anytime you want. I'll show you. Mm-hmm. You're right, though. They were 2 years and younger. So why is he going to kill them when half of them are his relatives? You know what I mean? Makes no sense. Anyway. I've been going 3 hours, you guys. I got to get off of here. I got to get off here pretty soon because I got to do some chores and get to bed. I might go on a little road trip tomorrow. Still waiting to hear from my friend. Yeah, 2 years. Everybody 2 years. Yep. Yeah. Because, he didn't want any competition. Herod didn't want a future king born. I tell girl says, I'm behind in the live stream. With Kathy, we all go to heaven. There's no hell. The devil lives, among us on it. That's absolutely true, I tell girl. Good to see you tonight. Yeah, you're right. The evil is here, you guys. There's no evil across the veil. None. Oh, you want jacked up Bible stories? Yeah. It's pretty good because if you know if you know the Bible, you know what I'm talking about. The little kitten's trying to get my mouse on the screen. That's cute. Yeah, there's a lot of jacked up Bible stories. That's just one. Yeah, you guys. And listen, if people weren't afraid that there's a hell, you probably wouldn't go to church. You probably wouldn't pay them millions of dollars. That's their hook to get you in there. Because if you are scared to go to hell, then you're going to run to the church and say, save me, do something. And it's a fear tactic, okay? It's a fear tactic. Okay, you guys, just about enough of this. Do you ever sleep? Do you ever stop, you guys? These kittens are really a handful. I could go on for days with Jack. I could. That's right. Yeah. I'm a secret listener tonight. Hello. Well, we're glad to have you. We're glad to have you. Yeah, there's a lot of jacked up Bible stories. Yeah. Have a great night, all. Thanks for the chatting, and thanks, Kathy. You're welcome, Tie Dye. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I'll wrap it up. Get off of here and say good night. Been over 3 hours. Time flies. To me, it feels like an hour and a half, but who's counting? Anyway, yes, so I will say good night. Yep. Just yeah, remember the evil are here on earth, okay? We can see them. They're right in front of you. If somebody is evil, you can see it. You can see it by their actions. They might tell you they're a good person, but look what they're doing. Right? People who are filled with hate and rage and want to hurt other people. There you go. Well, thank you for the thumbs up, Tie Dye. And yeah, I appreciate the thumbs up, you guys. I really do. It helps the channel. It helps. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off and say thanks everybody for coming on. Thank you all for coming tonight. I will be back soon, maybe tomorrow night. Maybe tomorrow night. I'm gonna watch Sarah's live stream. Mom Talk. Yes, Grace says thanks, Kathy, and everyone. Ladies, always remember your own strength. You got this. Yeah, you guys, you got this. You guys got this. You women that are struggling, and the men. All right, if you're a guy, you could be struggling just as bad. But yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know. I wanted everybody to know. Just get through today. All right, just get through today. And don't worry about tomorrow. I mean, I'm not saying don't like pay bills and stuff. But don't worry about, what does the saying go? What is that saying? I think it's in the Bible. It says, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has cares and burdens of its own. All right, tomorrow's got its own worries. Okay, just deal with your worries from today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has burdens of its own. So yeah, get through today. Thank you, Grace. She just put up Sarah Little's oh, you little stinker. She put up Sarah Little's YouTube. So please show Sarah Little some love and support. Check out her channel and yeah, show support to her if you could. All right, hugs back. Yes, hugs to everybody. Appreciate all your kindness shown to me tonight. I really needed to talk. Well, Alicia, I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad that you guys are all here. And TNT, I'm glad you're here. Because we care about you and we want to give you a big hug. And yeah, we're here for you guys. We're all here for each other, okay? No hate, no screaming, no anger. Just some souls that are having a human experience. And yeah, it's good to have some help and love. Elizabeth does not work there any longer. You got here info after stalking her page. All right, Margaret. You know what? You're always on here talking, crap. So I am going to say goodbye to you. Oops. Oops. Well, there you go, Margaret. There you go. I just did you a favor. Guess what, Margaret? Now you don't have to worry anymore. Bye. All right, you guys. Hugs to TNT. Hugs to all you guys. Yeah. Yeah. All you guys. All right. Well, probably see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks for coming in. Love and light and peace. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, Margaret. Peace.